Good evening, race fans, and thank you for joining us tonight here on the Elite Racing Network as we get the 2025B Belly Up Sports Cup Series season underway with qualifying and the duels for the 13th running of the Rev Limit Workshop Daytona 500. I am Zach Evans, producer David Huckleberry joining us this evening. And in short order, we will be joined by David Westergreen here in the booth, my usual partner in crime here on Wednesday nights. But with the magnitude of the Daytona 500, he is getting back behind the wheel and going to try to make the show as an open competitor. We will see him on track very soon as the first car in this single car qualifying session, something we only do here for the Daytona 500. You're going to watch every single car one lap on track here at the Virtual World Center of Racing in hopes of winning the 4D Racewear Pole Award for the Daytona 500. The first few cars getting lined up on pit road now. Here's a look at the format. You see there are 39 charters available. Is that right? I thought there were 40. Is
39 is what he said in
39.
that thing.
Okay, 39 charters, and then we will have 4 open cars make the show, including the fastest open car in qualifying, which is underway now. David Westergreen on his out lap as we speak in car 09. We'll pull him up on the screen momentarily. So for some context, obviously, so many of those spots taken by the charter cars, but the first of these close to 20 outlook. We'll see how many actually, show up, but we're looking at, I believe, 15 cars this season for the Daytona 500, trying to earn those last spots in the lineup. David Westergreen, the first one on the clock here. Again, one lap for each of these competitors. The fastest of the open competitors will be locked into the field. And then later on, when we have our duels, the highest finishing open car in each duel will also take part in next Wednesday's Daytona 500.
Zach, what do you notice about Mr. Westergreen's car?
I know he loves those purple wheels. I don't know why he loves the purple wheels so much, but he does love the purple wheels.
Okay, then the question I'm going to ask is, do you see a 9 or an 09?
I see an 09.
Oh, so do I. Okay, I was right. He should be the 9. I thought he had that fixed.
I thought he had that fixed, but maybe, I don't know, maybe we need to refresh trading paints. Maybe
I'll be doing that shortly.
We'll get that figured out for the duel, whichever the case may be.
Oh, yeah.
Nevertheless, time of 49.901 seconds for David Westergreen, who may or may not be joining me to announce next Wednesday's Daytona 500, depending on if he can make the show or not. That will bring us to Connor Thompson on track next. There you see car number 30, Connor Thompson, looking to earn his spot in the Daytona 500, representing Shift Esports in car number 30. One of about, I think it's 7 Fords we have on the roster for the Cup Series this season. Not a lot of blue ovals here in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series for the 2025B season. Coming out turn 4 now, we'll see what kind of time Connor Thompson can put on the board. That is a 49.901. So that is to the thousandth of a second, identical lap time to David Westergreen. Now it looks like what we had third online on our qualifying order was R.C. Enerson, but it does not look like he is with us at this point in the program. Not sure if he will not be here tonight or if he just was unable to get here in time for qualifying. So that brings us to Daniel Gore, looking to make his way into the Daytona 500 in car 69, another South Shore entry. He makes his way out of turn 4. We'll see what kind of time Daniel Gore can put on the board. 49.936. So he will slot in third fastest so far. And that will bring us to Thomas Coonan, who is getting to the start-finish line now to start his qualifying lap. Thomas Coonan, car number 36 for Abbott Motorsports. Very challenging for, I mean, you're going to see some big names even in these open cars. I mean, we mentioned R.C. Enerson. I have to assume, well, we'll see if he's here for the duels or not, but certainly he will be one to watch if he is here for the duels. More of these open competitors as we go through the qualifying process. Thomas Coonan make his way out of turn 4 in that Toyota. Across the line, it will be a 49.861 new fast time for Thomas Coonan. Next up, you see Zach Novak on track, and you know, we talked about it last season with Blake Reynolds, right? Blake Reynolds, one of the championship competitors in the 2019 eNASCAR iRacing Coca-Cola Series. Well, Zach Novak won that championship, and now he too has joined the Channel 199 Sim Racing roster for the Belly Up Sports Cup Series. Have to figure, even with the challenges of making the fields as an open competitor, he's going to be one to watch all season long. Almost certainly a championship contender. We'll see. First, though, as an open competitor, accolades or not, he has to make his way into the show. What kind of time can Zach Novak put on the board here in single car qualifying? 49.876. So he will, if he's going to make the Daytona 500, he will have to do it through his duel. Second fastest so far for Zach Novak. That brings us to Cale Pocock on track in the 00, and David Westergreen mercifully has joined me in the booth here. You get to hear two voices now. David, third fastest. You're going to have to go get done in the duel, it looks like.
Yeah, we will, but I had kind of assumed that. I also didn't get on until about 5 minutes before the session started, so we'll take not last. But it'll be fun. I'm excited for the duel itself. I think that'll be a good time, hopefully a good show for everybody, and I'm excited for a new season, Zach. New qualifying at Daytona is always a fun time, right? You get to break out the new paint schemes. Everybody gets to, show off their new cars, new faces and new places, new drivers entering the series. It's going to be a blast, I think, this year. So I'm excited.
Cale Pocock, 49.927 seconds. That'll put him fifth fastest at the moment. Next on track, Austin Nabnett in car 60.
Nabnett, I think, running a partial schedule with Lake Norman Motorsports, and this should be a car we see at the plate tracks and maybe a few other locations. I don't know that he's going for anything here but a Daytona 500 berth at this point tonight. Uncharted, obviously, one of these cars, and one of the things we were looking at is you're trying to see some cars keeping it down, pinned down to the bottom. You see some cars stretching it out to that seam on the outside lane. I think some of these guys the fast guys are gonna be further away from that yellow line. I tried to do it on my lap, but we saw it with Novak. I think Coonan did it as well. The further away you can let that car drift on corner exit like a Nabnett just did right there, the better off it's gonna be. And here's the lap across the line. Oh, he just misses out. 3/100ths of a second behind Thomas Coonan?
49.893, just a skosh over 3/100ths of a second, the difference there. I mean, that's what the margins are going to be for these competitors if they're trying to time their way into the Daytona 500. Is now Dylan Javier on track in car 57.
Your best friend.
Look, we were gonna talk about the past. Last night was last night. There was an incident last night in the 3-wide TV.
That was way back in 2003.
Right. Yeah, bygones are bygones now.
Trying to, but sometimes you have broadcast partners that like to stir up trouble.
Oh, of course.
Dylan Javier in the quick ships, number 57, one of about 972 South Shore cars that we've seen so far in open qualifying. And we'll see what kind of time Dylan Javier put on the board. 49.916.
So Dylan will have to race his way in. He and I, both the open drivers, will feature for the South Shore Racing stable. Here's another rookie in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series. This is Kurt Gibson. And Kurt has run a little bit with the Fueled Up Racing stable of late. I believe this will be a Fueled Up car come next Wednesday. And he's done, to my eye, a pretty good job of learning, keeping it clean, and getting, himself under his feet under him when it comes to, racing. And he ran the ARCA series a couple of times here this season, and overall has been relatively solid, but we'll see if he can't make his way into this Daytona 500.
Coming out turn 4 now is Kurt Gibson, maybe blinking a little bit in the process, but we'll see come on time. 50.013.
Kurt will have to race his way in, and from the back of whatever duel he starts in, here is another rookie, Jaden Racimus, and the family element of elite racing once again coming to the forefront is Jesse Racimus, longtime elite members. His son Jaden is bringing out the Caterpillar colors. I do love that, Zach. You know I love me a Caterpillar car.
You do love some Caterpillar.
And Jaden will try to race in, I believe this is with an Abbott Motorsports group, so that is the teammates like Corey Abbott, William White, Brent Jones, Leighton Norgard, that entire group. And that's a great group for Jaden to jump into and be a part of. He'll have some drafting help tonight, and I think that's going to be a big part of him getting a spot in this Daytona 500. And I don't know, have you guys touched on the format of this effort tonight in these dual races?
Yes.
All right, so we know there's three spots available after qualifying. Thomas Kunin currently holds one of those spots. Racimus clocks in at 48.93. So, obviously there's that one singular spot that's typically available because Tyler Fode will not be there next week. There is that additional spot for the highest finisher. That's a spot that Jaden Racimus can definitely occupy. So can this car, Sean Judson, another rookie. A guy that, I don't know, I'm not familiar with his work. Has he run anything you've run, Zach?
I cannot say that I am familiar with Sean Judson.
He qualified to be an elite through the Truck Series.
Truck Series, yeah, that explains a lot because Zach and I have been in and out of the Truck Series quite a bit, but Sean obviously did enough to make his way into this Cup Series start for a attempt at this Daytona 500 in car 97 with the pink colors. And heading towards the line, I think this one's going to be a little bit slower than some of the others.
49.963.
Just a little bit down the board for Sean Judson. Here's Mitch Javier, cousin to Dylan Javier. This one will be the other of the open cars being run by the Lake Norman stable. Solar Racing, the sponsor on this one. Mitch has attempted to make a couple of our Daytona 500s, has yet to be successful, but he's learning, he's growing. The inexperience still there for Mitch Javier, but I think with that time, these guys need time, and these duels are a great time to grab that seat time and learn about the other cars on track. Now these next-gen cars specifically drive in the draft.
And if I'm not mistaken, this is our last open competitor before we move on to our charter entry. So we will know after this lap whether it'll be Javier or Thomas Kunin locked into the Daytona 500.
And it will be Thomas Kunin racing in the Daytona 500 next Wednesday. Zach Novak will be sitting second right now, but unfortunately he will have to race his way into the 500. And as we start our chartered cars, that's last year's championship runner-up Jonathan Cutlip rolling around the track in the 5. Should we bring up one of our drivers that's waiting for an interview here?
Sure.
Let's let's talk to Gerald Campbell here. And I've seen Gerald. He's the one waiting in the waiting room the longest. So, Gerald, how's it going tonight, buddy? I saw you won the Clash on Monday.
Oh yeah, that was fun. I'm glad someone saw that. That's something I'll be playing on repeat for a while just to make myself feel better.
How's the car drafting then? Last time we ran it in Talladega a little bit ago, it had kind of received a recent update. Looked like a little more racy in that draft package on Monday night. So what's your thoughts on it?
So you're going to need help if you're going to make it in. I'll be honest. It's not going to be a race that if you can just be able to run on your own. You're going to need help, teammates, someone that's going to look out for you from behind, because that middle part of the track, the last couple seasons that we've raced at the super speedways, there's always been that what I used to call the trash chute. You get stuck in the middle and out the back you would go, essentially. That's practically gone. The side draft is not nearly as prominent as it has been in seasons past. Now you can be able to make that middle part work. If you have the drafting help, you can be able to push your way up to the front pretty fast. As fast as you can get to the front, as fast as you can be able to get shoved out of the front. And that's going to be something that you have to be careful about, because it always seems to happen in the last lap. Teammates always find a way to get hooked up, and the ones that do are the ones that make it successful.
Yeah, that's right. And you obviously have had some success, and you've been really fast at a number of these Elite Plate Series races. What's your strategy tonight? Obviously locked into this race. Looking to go out there and grab yourself a Daytona 500 win next week. What can you learn tonight that you can translate to next Wednesday?
Well, it's a new paint scheme, and it's the new Eagle, so we have to go out there and be able to get that new Eagle out front so you guys can be able to see it. The new Eagle's name for this season, last season, it was Donald by some of you guys, real funny. But this season, the new Eagle is named Valor. It's a bit more aggressive, a bit meaner Eagle this time around, and no one's seen it. I haven't even seen it on racetrack yet, so I got it about 2 hours ago, and it's about to make its first laps on track, and we're going to see how the Eagle flies. Is it going to be fast, or is it going to end up taking some people out? We're going to find that out tonight.
Well, that sounds good, Gerald. You got any shout-outs for us here before we send you off and switch over to Carlos?
How much are you going to pay me to push you to the front?
We'll discuss the terms later, off the air.
All right. I need
see if you're in the duel first,
Well,
Same as me.
I want to be in Duel 1. There's Duel 1
Gotcha.
and Duel 2. I desperately want to be Duel 1. There's no shout-outs for me, just, I guess do good. We're going to say do good. I hope some of the do good teammates make it tonight, and I have some drafting help for the main duel race.
Gotcha. Well, I'll look out for you if your teammates don't show up, and see if we can't link up later tonight if we're in the same duel. So, good luck on your qualifying run. I know it hasn't happened yet, and hopefully you get a pole.
All right, looking forward to it. See you later.
That is Gerald Campbell. I'll hand it over to Zach to recap and get to Carlos. Gotta reset my Discord, so I'll be right back.
So while we were conducting that interview, we saw some of those qualifying times from our first charter competitors. Jonathan Cutlip, 49.900 seconds. Then you had Ryan Gable at 49.880 seconds, who up until just a little bit ago was the fastest of the charter cars. Kyle Hanshaw, 49.944, and then Josh Adams, 49.842, which not only fastest of the charter cars, but took him to the top of the board, as you can see on the pylon on the left side of the screen. So as it stands right now, he is holding quick time, and if nobody can beat that mark, he will be the 4D Raceware Pole Award winner. But plenty of time for somebody to try and knock Josh Adams off the top of the heap. Right now, Gavin Higgins on track. We'll let him cross the finish line here before we bring in Carlos Acosta. Let's see what time we have for Gavin Higgins.
10th quick.
What?
10th quick.
10th quick. 49.912.
Yeah, and I'm back here.
Thank you for the payment, Mr. Gore. I'll be sure to push you instead of... Oh, hello. Hi.
Carlos Acosta, welcome to the booth. When you're going out, Carlos, how much time we got?
We got some time. I am going third to last.
Oh boy. Well,
Yeah.
any pole aspirations here tonight, Carlos? Or are you just looking to get in a nice time, good starting spot for that dual race?
Oh, it's not 2017 anymore. I'm not as quick as I used to be. I'm just out here. I got something rare. I got pre-race jitters. I'm nervous. I don't know why. I'm chartered. I'm locked in. I already excelled on the Clash Open, so I'm happy as can be. But I still got some pre-race jitters, pre qualifying jitters. Trying to do some research. I'm hoping I can get a good lap, but statistically, lately with these cars, it's looking like towards the back. But maybe that's where I excel.
Gotcha. Well, haven't you moved a team, new team this season for you in that 02 car?
I sure did. I've been bagging Goody, seeing there's been an opening on his team for the last couple seasons. I want to drive with teammates, and thankfully a spot opened up kind of last minute. Driver backed out, and he asked me if I could, if I'd be willing to come in at the last second, and I said yes, absolutely. So I am now a Do Good Motorsports driver, and I am a happy Do Good Motorsports driver.
I got anything for Carlos?
I guess for Carlos, I mean, with having teammates, I mean, that's a huge deal for this race in particular. You already had the charter, so that's also a great, this is kind of going to be your first chance to really approach the 500 with that mindset of not just, I think you had the charter last season, but maybe not so many of the friends on track to help you get to the front. So what does that do for you tonight?
It gives me major confidence. I was alone on the Clash Open, and I put myself somehow in a good position to win it. And then on the actual Clash, I worked well with my two teammates that were there, Jared Rexing and Gerald Campbell, and I was able to help push them. We all worked together there on that last lap to get the team a victory. It was fantastic. So I know firsthand that having teammates is going to be so important for the duels and for the 500 as a whole. I've already experienced that. Now I'm hoping maybe to experience that on the front end instead of on the rear end of that.
Well, Carlos, any shout outs here before we send you off? Obviously, your new team Do Good, but anyone else?
Yeah, shout out to all the drivers and all the workers at Do Good Motorsports Camp. Shout out to Bojo for making me a sweet scheme for tonight. I asked him kind of last minute once I was approached, and he knocked it out of the park. You'll love it when you see it. It's still Inca Cola, so let's crack one open for all the Hispanics out there. It's delicious. If you were to cut my arm open, I'd be bleeding Inca Cola. So it's healthy. It's good for you. It's what the plants need. And shout out to everyone out here who's helping me get to where I am right now.
Gotcha. Well, congratulations, Carlos. And for anyone at home who doesn't know what Inca Cola is, it is maybe the sugariest soda I've ever had, but it does taste really good. Peruvian soda, authentically Peruvian, just like you, Carlos. So
thank you. Yes.
Good luck on your run later tonight, and hopefully we see you up at the front.
Yeah, good luck. I see you as well.
So while we were speaking with Carlos Acosta there, new quick time, Ethan Burrell, 49.807, which have to admit, pretty impressive because he kind of gave up some of the potential on that run. I don't know if you saw some of the discombobulation on the setup for that run, but he gave up some of his run up to the start-finish line and still put it quick time. And then Ray Bracey, you've heard the shout out to Bojo for the Inca Cola car we'll see later on. That was Bojo, of course, is Ray Bracey, and he is fifth fastest with 49.879. Seth Rawls just finished his qualifying attempt, seventh fastest, 49.887. That brings us to Gilberto Javier Gamera.
Alberto officially full-time with Shift Esports this season. Kind of a new ride. Obviously, his team owner, Seth Rawls, just went. And I'm going to be teammates with Gilberto in another league. He's definitely learning this next gen car to an extent, and that's a guy that I'm kind of looking forward to. But to seeing like the growth over the course of the season, I think that we'll see him get a little bit more under, get it a little more under his belt. Get a little more smooth with the tire saving and those kind of mid-run incidents we kind of tend to see out of him. And here he comes across the line to finish it up with that new paint job painted by SR Designs and P7 for Gilberto Gomera. So 4988.
Now bring Trey Holmes onto the track.
Trey's second season with Pro Edge Racing. That's a guy that I think, underperformed what we were kind of expecting for him last season. Not in a sense that it was his own doing per se, but when you're a part of that Pro Edge stable, it's just a group that seems like they're championship contenders pretty much every season. And Trey was just a little bit more off, got involved in some wrecks, uncharacteristic, I would say too, some stuff of his own making, some stuff not, but I expect kind of a big rebound from this 23 car this season. I think he's in for a big one.
Across the line, it was a 49.873 for Trey Holmes. That will put him fourth fastest. He'll be in a good spot to start whatever duel he ends up in.
Abbott Motorsports Toyotas, a Leighton Norgard, always with the bright pink and blue colors. And Zach, we interviewed a Leighton a couple times down the stretch last year with some podium finishes. I do wonder if this isn't the season he breaks out and wins his first Elite Belly Up Sports Cup Series race.
We'll see how it all plays out, but certainly a name to watch as a potential first-time winner in that. You'll always be able to spot a Leighton Norgard's car on the track. Another one of those guys who loves those bright colors, the pink and light blue on the number 12 and the yellow spoiler. Quick time, not quite the quickest, but second fastest at 49.841.
Yep, cooking there for a Leighton Norgard. Here's a new paint scheme, new car, driver in a new spot. Ty McIntosh has joined South Shore Racing this season, and he's put together a 3-wide TV sponsorship. That's Carlos Acosta's broadcasting company that broadcasts a number of different types of races, but Carlos also broadcasts our 2003 series on Tuesdays. And so he's sponsoring Ty, working with us at South Shore Racing, and I'm excited for this paint scheme, man. Ty brought it in, because South Shore is kind of based on the South Shore of Lake Michigan. This car was run by Daniel Suarez at the Chicago Street Race a couple years ago. I always loved it, never found a spot to race it, but Ty pulled it together with Ray Bracey, and it looks really, really good. Let's see what kind of lap he can put down here coming to the line. Might have gotten a little high coming off of turn 4, but I think it's still going to be pretty good.
49.902.
Right there with me. So it was pretty good.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
Yeah, 15th fastest. Just 1,000th of a second behind you and Connor Thompson with your identical lap times. Now, we talked about some team changes, some driver lineup changes. Here's probably the biggest one, other than, some of the newcomers in the series. As far as existing, outstanding Elite Cup Series competitors, Ethan Stanley jumping to Channel 199 is about as big as it gets in the silly season department this season.
Yeah, that's pretty earth-shaking when it comes to this Elite season, to the point that I was DM'd the rumor this offseason, and I simply responded to the DM, that's a joke, you are lying to me. And they were not lying. Ethan Stanley has moved over to Channel 199, I think with a target on running in some more professional events with that group. Obviously, Blake Reynolds, Zach Novak, iRacing pros effectively at this point. And here's Stanley fourth on the board, just in front of Thomas Coonan. But that's I think a really good move for Ethan Stanley, and it came at the same time as this move. Justin Wadsworth shifting over to Pro Edge Racing 2 seasons ago, won the championship. with Lake Norman Motorsports and has since moved over to Pro Edge Racing. What a wild turn of events this all was. These moves all kind of happened in quick succession, and it has taken the legs out a little bit from Lake Norman Motorsports and that group, with a couple of their best drivers heading to competitors.
Absolutely, definitely an exciting silly season. I see we have a couple of guys filtering into the waiting room. If you want to grab one of them, David, after we get done with this time here for Justin Wadsworth as he makes his way out of turn 4, see what kind of lap the 2024 B champion can put on the board here. 49.863. That's got to be good for 6th fastest so far in car 6.
Yeah, that's a good lap, and I'll bring in the guy. I was talking about those rumors between those last two guys that went, Ethan Stanley and Justin Wadsworth. I was talking about them with this guy, Ethan Burrell, who is currently sitting on the provisional pole. And Ethan, before I get your thoughts on the actual race and the pole run that you've put up tonight, how about your thoughts on this silly season, man? What a wild turn of events.
Yeah, for sure. I'd heard from Tate Lytle. I mean, obviously the most decorated vet that's been at Pro Edge in this league. He's going to be taking a step back to part-time, so I just figured, why not go to just a couple big names and just throw something out there and see before I start looking at people that were more expected free agents in the off season. And sure enough, man, got a hold of Justin Wadsworth, and I'm stoked to have Justin on the squad. I think it's going to be really awesome. His car looks super cool. Something about him in a Toyota just feels right to me.
Well, you got him now, and you also got the pole time at this point. And I'll let Zach take over. Let us know who went there. I didn't even catch who put a time on the board, but pole time right now. How do you feel? I think you have won the pole for this race before, and I want to say you won that race. Won that race that you won the pole in. So, is this a good start? Kind of the way you're thinking it's going to shake out?
Yeah, hopefully that one was awesome. Yeah, one from the pole, led a whole bunch of laps, and I got home last minute. Thankfully, I was able to even get a run in. I figured I better hurry up and hop in here before the time gets beat. I know this history is not on my side here, trying to hold on to the top spot, but we're looking good so far. It looks like I'm at least the fastest front half. But yeah, I don't know. Last time I won the pole, I was like second or third to last car to go out. It was in the daytime though, so I don't know. The night times might be acting a little bit different, but I'm happy with the lap for now. Man, it's awesome.
You got anything for him there, Zach?
No.
It's okay.
No.
If you don't.
All right.
I understand.
I am trying to keep up with the qualifying times when you inevitably ask me to update people on the qualifying times. You cannot expect me to actually listen to the interview, too. I don't know why you keep throwing to me.
Justin Vandermeer in the 54 for Fueled Up Racing. Threw up a nice 49.837 there. Second on the charts for now.
No, thank you. So I'll... as the qualifying broadcast is already a more fun and a lighthearted broadcast, I'll ask you this time, if you're pushing me to the lead in this duel race, if we could avoid me spinning out this time, that would be much preferred.
I feel like Weeks, hey, I let him know we were coming. Okay, he chose to block it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't blame you for not wanting to slam into him at Mock Jesus or however fast we were going.
Oh yeah, we were going fast. That's right.
I'll just pass off the blame on him, not me, the one that was pushing the heck out of you.
No, we were going to go win us a stage there, and that was a fun time. But hopefully we can recreate it tonight. Here's Matthew Weeks, your teammate, and as I kind of let you go and let you give some shout outs with Weeks on the track here. What are your thoughts for this season? You and him, Wadsworth, obviously. I think you guys have a really good shot to take it to Channel 199. What's your expectations for the season, and then any shout-outs before we send you off and interview some of these other guys?
Yeah, me personally, driver Ethan, I don't know, I've a bit out of practice. I honestly haven't really touched the sim since last season ended, but we got a great group of guys. I'll be able to pick it up. I'll be able to find my pace and be all right. I like our chances, making noise. I feel like we've been the top Toyota team for a long time. We started to get have a lot of pressure last season from those Channel 199 guys. They're all rocket ship fast. Thankfully, we're all pretty friendly with each other. Hopefully, we can stay as the top dogs in the Toyotas, man. That's the goal.
Gotcha. Well, Ethan, any shout outs before we send you off here?
Yeah, shout out you guys, Chad, all the Pro Edge guys, and yeah, man, we'll shout out Betty too if she's watching this one. And good luck, have fun up here, guys. Hopefully it's not too long of a night, and hopefully we make the same duel, David.
That's right. Yeah, we'll work together pretty good if we do. So, good luck tonight, Ethan, and hopefully that pole run stays around a little bit.
Thanks, guys.
There's Ethan Burrell. Let's grab the other guy who's been in here the longest, and that is South Shore Racing driver Ty McIntosh. And Ty, before I send it to you, I am going to give it to Zach real quick and let him update us on the qualifying runs.
So as you mentioned, Ethan Burrell still holding on to the 4D Raceware Pole Award at the moment. Justin Vandermarl did go second fastest with a 49.837. Gavin Hibbs currently ninth with a 49.868. Jeff Green, normally a guy we see do really well here in qualifying, a former pole sitter both for the virtual and the real world Daytona 500. The 2000 Busch Series champion, 49.908, pretty far down the line at the moment, so he's not going to be happy about that. Matthew Weeks, 49.887, good for 16th at the moment. David Tooker did not make it here in time for qualifying. He is expected to be here for the duels. Paul Mikolajczyk was our last car on track at a 49.855, which also probably not the lap he was necessarily hoping for, but fifth fastest, nothing to sneeze at.
That's a good lap for Paul, and we'll get Scholz time across the line here, and then we'll talk to you, Ty.
Oh, that's a good one. 49.839 will be good for third fastest for Ryan Scholz out of the Little Eagle Racing stable.
He's almost won himself a Daytona 500 a couple of times while we watch Mark Urbilas head around this racetrack. I'll throw it down to you, Ty. New team, new colors this season. What are your thoughts kind of entering this Daytona 500?
Well, it feels the same because I can't qualify with one lap speed. But no, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I think we got a really good group of guys. Obviously, having you for the 500 and getting to work with Bojo and Danny. Danny's an open car, so looking to get him into the 500 as well somehow. Hopefully, we all line up to where we can do that. But I feel really good, man. It's a refresh for me. I've wanted to be in the South Shore camp for a while here in Elite, and now I'm here. So new change of scenery in the Chevy, especially. Got a beautiful car thanks to Bojo through ITV on board and every other partner that helps me get here. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, Ty, and we're excited to have you, obviously. But in terms of this next gen car, I know you are definitely one of the more vocal ones against how it drives compared to the other stuff that we usually run together. As Mark Urbilas hits the inside wall during qualifying, I can't say I'm surprised. But regarding your feelings on this next gen car and these latest updates, how do you think it's going to go over the course of this whole season?
I mean, I feel like I'm going to have a shot on the plate tracks. I feel like I've proved myself to be one of the better guys on the plate tracks. Mile and a halfs, it's going to depend on the mile and a half, really. It's 50-50. I feel like I'm learning and I'm getting better, especially having guys like Bojo and Danny. I'm going to get a lot better, but it's definitely not something I'm used to. I would prefer the Xfinity car or even the truck, but we're getting there. It's a love-hate relationship. It's more hate than love right now, I can tell you that.
I gotcha. Well, I'll let you go. We're getting a bunch of people jumping in the waiting room, but any shout-outs here before we send you off tonight?
Through ITV, everybody at Weekend Woodsman, Binks Designs, Bojo for painting the car, Batflip Entertainment, and Traders Brewing Company for being partners, and you guys for sitting here and broadcasting qualifying and the duels tonight.
Oh.
Sounds good, buddy. Well, we will catch you later, and obviously good luck in your duel. Hopefully you and I are in the same one. We can draft together a little bit.
Thanks, buddy. I hope so. It'd be nice.
Ty McIntosh, the driver of the number 10 South Shore Racing Chevy. Zach, updates before we go to Daniel Gore.
Mark Revlos, before violently hitting the inside wall for no reason whatsoever with a 49.917 second lap time. That was good for 27th when he crossed the line. Caleb McCumer, 19th fastest so far at 49.899 seconds. And We are looking now at Brent Jones as he makes his way out of turn 4 in car number 85. We'll see what kind of lap time Brent Jones can put on the board. And 49.896 seconds. That is 19th so far.
Yeah, Brent Jones is a guy that definitely knows how to get it done. Now it is Frank Foti.
The only Foti we will see tonight.
Yeah, that is the only Foti we will see tonight. We'll also drag Frank's teammate Daniel Gore into the booth. Couple of new signings for South Shore Racing this season. And Danny, you're going to have to race your way in tonight. What's your plan? Obviously qualifying didn't go the way we were hoping it would.
Gonna be mid at the back. I guess just avoid the wreck. It's gonna happen at some point. But this is my first time trying to qualify for this, so I'm gonna have to get used to driving with these people. Hopefully I'll have some teammates. They can maybe give us some pointers and keep eyes out for me. There ain't no plan. I'm just gonna drive. That's it.
I gotcha. When it comes down to racing the full season, obviously we've seen a lot of charter turnover. You should be able to get one pretty shortly, even if you were to not make this race. Looking forward, what are you the most kind of excited about entering your kind of rookie season in this Elite Cup Series?
I think just getting to know everyone. I enjoy challenge. Maybe not when I'm actually driving, but deep down, secretly, I do. It just, when you're trying to learn something, is no better person to learn from than someone who's quicker than you. And I enjoy that. So just getting better. This is kind of my first time running this car, period. So just getting quicker, knowing these people, hopefully having a fun time.
Gotcha. Well, we're excited to have you. Obviously, any shout outs before we send you off tonight, and hopefully we can work together in whatever duel we're in, and potentially call you to the race, making the race if not.
Let's see, Neil for sure. He was the one who sponsored with Binks. I'm grateful for that. I have everything to owe for him for this, so this is all for him. Jordan, Noah, and you for having me. So.
No, we appreciate it, Danny, and obviously, good luck tonight, and hopefully you're able to make your. Would this be your first Elite Cup Series race too?
Yes, this is my first Elite Cup race. Period.
Gotcha. Well, good luck tonight in those duels for sure, buddy.
Thanks.
So we'll throw Danny Gore in. Let Zach provide us with the time updates. Are we done?
No.
Oh, we're missing somebody.
It looks like we're missing a couple of somebodies, but Frank Foti, 49.918 seconds, which I believe puts him 31st at the moment. Johnny Thomas, 49.868 seconds, 11th fastest for the former Daytona 500 winner. Harrison Talon not here for qualifying. Blake Reynolds was here, but I don't know if he... yes, he had dropped out due to packet loss, so I don't know what the situation will be there. Is he going to be able to slot back in line now that he has unfortunately missed when he was supposed to go out, or what the resolution will be to that situation for our reigning Belly Up Sports Cup Series champion? Corey Abbott on track now.
Yeah, interesting one. Got Kachow, Corey Abbott out there as well for Abbott Motorsports, and we'll grab another driver and bring him up. Keep on rolling with these interviews during this qualifying session. We've got driver 95 Gavin Hibbs on board with us once again, and Gavin, solid qualifying run there, sitting in the top 10, but obviously you'll have to race for your spot there in the duel. What's your kind of plan to go out there and try and get on P3 or P4 in this Daytona 500?
Knowing my history in the duels, the goal is to not die. So I've been wrecked in every single one of my duels since I came to Elite Cup. So that's pretty much my goal. So
fantastic. It's about the same for me, really.
Yeah, I don't have a set plan. Just make sure I just don't get wrecked.
I think we glossed over it on our on our coverage of your time. We might have been interviewing somebody else, but you are with a new team this season as well. Why don't you kind of let us know how that's going, and whether how you're feeling about the season upcoming.
Yeah, I've feel pretty confident now that I'm with Field Up Racing now. Sort of been hanging around with those guys late last season. Just working together with them. At tracks like this. I feel like hanging around those guys a little bit last season definitely helped with the performance on the track. And this season, I'm looking forward to doing a lot better than finishing 10th. Hopefully, finish better than 10th in points last season. So, just great group of guys over there at Fuel Up Racing with, Justin, Jesse, and Cutlip. I think we got a very strong team this year, with a chance to get some wins here and there. But only time will tell as the season goes.
Gotcha, Gavin. And obviously you're a big fan of those road courses. You've raced pretty well against the Ethan Stanley and Blake Reynoldses of the world at those. But I think your current lone elite Cup Series win is on the plate tracks at Talladega. So looking forward to that Daytona 500 next week. Any hope that you can go out there and grab number 2?
Kind of like the duels. My history in the 500 hasn't been that great. Once again, just getting wrecked every 500 I've ran so far. But hopefully with being on a new team like this with Field Up and guys that can win at the super speedways, hopefully our luck turns around. But once again, only time will tell next week.
Gotcha. Any shout outs for us here tonight before we send you off, Gavin, and get ready for your duel?
Yeah, obviously want to shout out Field Up Racing for bringing me on this upcoming 2025B season. Looking forward to working with those guys over there, and hopefully we'll get a few dubs this season. But looking forward to it.
Gotcha. Well, congrats on the good run. Hopefully you're able to back it up in the duels, and we'll see you out there.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Gavin Hibbs, driver of that 95 car for Fueled Up Racing.
To catch everyone up here, Corey Abbott, 49.897 seconds, good for 23rd at the moment. Jesse Racimas, 49.875. He is currently 14th, and the last car you saw out there, Michael Hossack, 49.861. That is a top 10 spot at the moment. 9th fastest thus far.
A lot of times in that 4.85 to 4.90 bracket. That's basically the exact sweet spot. It's really only a couple of times really on the outer edge of either of those, and you can see those are kind of the main times to be on the lookout for. Ethan Burrell, Justin Vandermarl currently the front row. Garrison Hogan across the line, 21st.
21st with a time of 49.889 seconds for
Zach,
Go ahead.
We're coming to the end. Carlos Acosta said he was third to last, and here he is on track in that number 02 Inca Cola car for Do Good Racing.
Indeed, he is third to last. After this, we just have Gerald Campbell and Chad Frankenfield. If none of these three competitors can time out, well, I guess we could see what the situation is with Blake Reynolds as well, but otherwise...
Yeah, it'll be Ethan Burrell on the pole, Justin Vandermarl second, and then everybody else will be lined up for the dual races to take place just after this qualifying session ends. We'll be racing for 3 spots in the 500, and then if anybody were to miss, we would line up everybody else behind in substitute fashion. Carlos is going to be well at the back, but he had kind of stated as much in his interview with us that he wasn't expecting to go terribly quickly.
All right, so getting some confusion here. Gerald Campbell is going on track now. Blake Reynolds had joined the line, but is, I guess, being told he will not be allowed to take the time because he wasn't here during his spot into lineup, even though it was a connection issue. It's not like he didn't show up. He had been here the whole time and it just had really unfortunate timing. Also, just really unfortunate all that was playing out on voice chat in the middle of Carlos Acosta's qualifying run, but that's neither here nor there. Nevertheless, the net result of all of that is Gerald Campbell is now on track for his out lap. He is not on the clock yet, I do not believe. Yeah, he's coming out turn 4 now. He should be on the clock here as he crosses the start-finish line in car 31. Valor? Was that it? Valor?
It was Valor the Eagle, yes.
Okay. We'll see if Valor fares a little bit better than Donald here in 2025B.
Here's open.
He does look meaner. He does look meaner.
Yep. He was smart by
I
not
would
putting it
agree.
out for people to vote this time. So
Right. You know, got the black in the kind of stars and stripes in the back of the car. I like this one a lot more than I liked last year's on a paint scheme basis. This thing looks pretty good.
Well, we'll see if it's fast as he makes his way out of turn 4. Gerald Campbell, a former, 3-time series champion?
2-time.
2-time series champion. He'll make his way across the start-finish line here, and it is going to be 49.901. That's 29th. 27th, 29th. I'm getting conflicting reports between Huck's thing and iRacing's thing, so I don't know if there was a tie there or what happened. But
You get in there with mine and
it ain't
Caleb
good.
Thompson's, mine and Connor Thompson's 2095.
no, that's exactly what it is. You're all tied
Yeah.
at 49.901. So there you go.
Amazing.
That's the confusion there.
But-
And that yeah.
That bodes poorly for Gerald's desire to run in the duel with the same duel as me. But we'll see
Yeah,
how
I
it
don't know
turns
what
out.
I don't know what the tiebreaker is in that situation, but Godspeed to y'all with that.
Chad Frankenfield, theoretically the last driver out.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like Blake Reynolds will not be allowed to take a time, and Chad Frankenfield is going to be our last driver on the clock. We'll see what kind of time Chad Frankenfield puts on the board. 6th fastest with a 49.846. So that means Ethan Burrell, your 4D Racewear Pole Award winner for the Daytona 500.
Justin Vandermarl on the outside of the front row. How about that? That's a very good qualifying run for him. You'll note that Ryan Schultz is going to start 3rd in this race. He and Chad Frankenfield are going to have very similar schemes, and early returns are that the broadcasters are dreading having to call which one of those is, forcing it 3 wide.
Well, so fun fact, David, these are duels.
Mm.
I don't think they're going to be in the same one.
They may not, right? There's no open cars to divide them out. So that'll be easy for us in one of the duels. Here's hoping I end up in the one that's not got Chad Frankenfield in it. We will let the race control and the powers that be for Elite Racing sort out who's going to go in which duel.
Yeah, so just to peel the curtain back a little bit for our viewing audience here, this is going to take a little bit of time. Because we have to manually set the lineups for both duels and get the sessions loaded up on the iRacing back end. That's going to take a little bit of time. So we'll probably throw it to a static screen here. Maybe if some drivers join, we'll interview them in front of the blank screen like the old school 1980s NWA wrestling promos or something. But otherwise, we don't have any pretty pictures to show you until the first duel session launches and is ready to go. So first off, we'll take a quick break, show some of our ads, and we'll be back with something at some point here in a few minutes. So don't go away. Still duels on the way to set the rest of the lineup for the Daytona 500 and figure out which of the remaining open competitors will be part of next Wednesday's race.
Since 2010, race fans have had one burning question. When will the Xfinity Series return to Worldwide Technology Raceway? You asked, NASCAR delivered. On Saturday, September 6, 2025, the magic is back. The track that launched the legendary careers of Harvick, Busch, Keselowski, Edwards, and Earnhardt Jr. is now ready to write that next chapter. we're going to introduce you to a new crop of future champions and Hall of Famers. And in the process, we'll create more of the greatest moments in racing history. NASCAR Weekend 2025, the NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs, the Confluence Music Festival, and now 250 miles of the NASCAR Xfinity Series. 2 incredible races, 1 challenging track, a 3-day party of epic proportions. Go to www.raceway.com and lock in your weekend racing and camping packages for as little as $20 down. 3 years of sellout crowds, 3 years of edge of your seat action, 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR, and now NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs are coming. Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Just when you thought the racing couldn't get any more intense, now every single lap matters. One wrong move could be the difference between elimination and being crowned the king. The Enjoy Illinois 300, the Confluence Music Festival, the NASCAR Cup Series Playoffs, and for the first time in 15 years, the NASCAR Xfinity Series on Saturday, September 6th. Don't be on the outside looking in. See history being made in your own backyard. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Rain delay. LOL.
Yeah, that works. Okay, so I got time. I got no practice. Drafting. First year last season, so I got the broadcast after getting crashed after being the lead. So I will say I think this is probably.
I was definitely gonna ask him here. Get to watch it. Wow.
They moved me to do it once.
Just leave me until 2, guys.
It's a NASCAR
2010, race fans have had one burning question. When will the Xfinity Series return to Worldwide Technology Raceway? You asked, NASCAR delivered. On Saturday, September 6, 2025, the magic is back. The track that launched the legendary careers of Harvick, Busch, Keselowski, Edwards, and Earnhardt Jr. is now ready to write that next chapter. We're going to introduce you to a new crop of future champions and Hall of Famers. And in the process, we'll create more of the greatest moments in racing history. NASCAR Weekend 2025, the NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs, the Confluence Music Festival, and now 250 miles of the NASCAR Xfinity Series. 2 incredible races, 1 challenging track, a 3-day party of epic proportions. Go to www.raceway.com and lock in your weekend racing and camping packages for as little as $20 down.
To the Rev Limit 500 Duels at Daytona. My name is David Westergreen. I'm joined by Zach Evans and David Huckleberry. And gents, we've got Ethan Burrell on the pole. Yeah, we don't have webcams. Maybe a future addition to the Elite Racing Network's coverage, but
with Carlos's expertise, we could easily put you guys in each side of that screen right there and have your faces.
We sure could.
Nobody wants that.
We've got Ethan Burrell on pole for this first duel race. It'll be 50 laps on the famed Daytona Speedway, Daytona International Speedway, that is. And got me in there as driver first. Yeah, I'll be driving in Duel 2, luckily, so you'll have me for this first one. And Zach, as we open the season, what are your thoughts about this duel split? Because I'll tell you, I think this first duel might be well, a lot of our hard hitters are in Duel 2.
A lot of hard hitters in Duel 2, and you know how the story goes. Usually you have one calm duel and one dramatic duel. We'll see which one is which. I know certainly you have a preference since you'll be on track in the second duel. You'd love for the exciting one to be here where you get to talk about all the excitement and not have to deal with it behind the wheel. But we'll see what is in store, as I believe we're about to get cars gridded for this first duel. There you see our starting lineup. Ethan Burrell, as we mentioned, a 40 Raceware Pole Award winner for next week's Daytona 500. He will lead the field to the green flag in this duel as well. Ryan Schold in second. Josh Adams in third. Paul Mikolajczyk will roll off from the fourth position. Thomas Kuhn in fifth. Michael Hosak fifth. Nope, that's six. Gavin Hibbs seventh. Trey Holmes eighth. Ray Bracey ninth. Gilberto Javier 10th, Matthew Weeks 11th, and Austin Nabnett will start 12th.
Brett Jones will start in 13th with Caleb Bakuma rolling 14th. Connor Thompson starts in 15th. Gerald Campbell will start 16th. Jeff Green will start in 17th. Dylan Javier will go from 18th. Mark Rabilas starts 19th. Jaden Rasimus 20th. Kyle Hanshaw starts 21st. Sean Judson 22nd. And then some cars that did not make our qualifying session earlier. Michael Goodman and Harrison Talon will roll off 23rd and 24th, respectively. And there you go. 24 cars here in this first duel. I think Duel 2 might actually have more cars in it. I think a couple of folks are not going to make it for Duel 1, needed to be slotted into that Duel 2. And Zach, looking at this field, I mean, I'm seeing Ethan Burrell, I'm seeing Matthew Weeks, Josh Adams, Gavin Hibbs, Trey Holmes. In terms of our typical super speedway favorites, I think some guys could really make a name for themselves in this duel with a good run.
Certainly, and it's got to be hotly contested to be that highest finishing open competitor and earn that guaranteed spot in next week's Daytona 500. But, I mean, we're going to have some guys coming from the back as well. We mentioned Jeff Green, not the qualifying run he had hoped for, but he's probably got to hook up with Michael Goodman there in the back. And I imagine we'll see them in near the front of the field in relatively short order in this duel, if I had to make a wager.
Yeah, I think Jeff Green will be aggressive getting through the field. And worth noting, Jeff Green did move teams. He did not move back to Do Good Motorsports. He did move to Kyle Hanshaw Motorsports with Hanshaw and Johnny Thomas. So his team car back there will be that 46 car of Kyle Hanshaw, but Hanshaw very good at these plate-style tracks. Think 46 and 2 will be at the front of this field at some point tonight. Got a couple of shift cars, Gilberto Javier, Connor Thompson. That's a duo you'll have to look out for. Paul Mikolajczyk's up here without any true friends. All his Channel 199 teammates in that second duel. They'll be looking to, I think, pull forward, make some big runs. I think this could be a good night for Michael Hosak there, qualified 6th in that 24 car. Typically pretty fast on these late-style super speedways. Typically a pretty good driver. So I imagine he'll be aggressive up at the front of the field. We're getting ready to go green for the first time here in this 2025B season. Pace car is off. Ethan Burrell leading us down to the green, help from Josh Adams, and they will be on the loud pedal as we get started lap 1 of 50 tonight in duel number 1 at Daytona for that Rev Limit Workshop Daytona 500 next Wednesday here on the Elite Racing Network. And it's Ryan Schold and Paul Mikolajczyk that are much better partnered up top, but Ethan Burrell and Josh Adams have the run in that bottom lane, followed by Thomas Coonan, who is locked into this Daytona 500.
Who is that in the fence? Is that the 24?
Michael Hosak right in the fence. That might be the fastest my announcer's jinx has ever worked. And Burrell with a black flag potentially for jumping the start. He may need to serve that right now. It's good to get that out of the way now instead of next week in the Daytona 500. Things are getting really squirrely coming off turn 4. Coonan up top ahead of Josh Adams. Burrell heads down pit road to serve that black flag. And the first lap leader of this dual race will be Thomas Coonan in that 36 car. Ryan Schold, Paul Mikolajczyk up top. Ray Bracey stuck in the sucker hole in the middle, and he's headed to the back in that number 7 car.
Indeed, you see there he is in the middle. No help for that green and yellow 7 driven by Ray Bracey. He'll end up near the rear of the field here, as they say, 2 by 2 for the first, 7 or 8 rows or so.
On the bottom, it's Josh Adams pushed by Gavin Hibbs. Matthew Weeks up from the 11th starting position in this race to 3rd after just a lap and a quarter. Mikolajczyk, big move, jumps down to the bottom of the racetrack. It's Gavin Hibbs working to the outside lane around Josh Adams. Adams led 3/4 of that lap. He will not lead at the line. It'll go to Gavin Hibbs for lap number 2. And I mean, the way these things are going already, you could see 50 lead changes in this race in these 50 laps.
Definitely a lot more energy. These runs seem to build a little bit better than we had seen in the last couple of super speedway races here with this next gen car in the Elite Belly Up Sports Cup Series. Obviously, only 20-some cars on track does make a difference, but I think this is going to be a pretty exciting night of racing, Dave.
I think so too. You know, I'm trying to take some notes, watch this race out, try to get ready for my race, and you can see the momentum shift is massive in these next-gen Cup cars. You can really tandem well together. You just saw it with Thomas Coonan and Paul Mikolajczyk as Mikolajczyk takes the race lead, pulls Coonan and Josh Adams through on that bottom lane. From watching that Clash race on Monday, it seemed like the bottom was going to be the preferred lane, but the top really came together near the end of the race and kind of stole the win. Gerald Campbell was able to throw some late blocks and pick up that race win. He's in this race tonight in that 31 car. Definitely another guy that, we didn't really mention in the pre-race, but should be a factor tonight. And another guy that I'm noticing that's moving through this field with relatively short order is the 2 car of Jeff Green, which is a guy that you called out that was going to be at the front pretty quickly. He's already in the top 5 side.
Yeah, that number 2 car, Jeff Green, former Busch Series champion, former pole sitter, both in the real world and in Elite in the Daytona 500. Always very good at the super speedways here. And there you see, he's behind Connor Thompson in the 30 car. 4th car in line on that bottom lane is right now up front Paul Mikolajczyk. Man, love to see him up front. Obviously, a tough start to the season last season as a rookie and as an open competitor here in the Elite Belly Up Sports Cup Series. He's earned that charter, and now he's mixing it up at the front of this first duel.
Like Gavin Hibbs down to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to take that lead right in front of Paul Mikolajczyk away from Josh Adams. Could not get it done in that 95 car. He'll stick to the back bumper of Adams, now jump to the outside lane in front of Mikolajczyk, and Gavin Hibbs looking for the race lead here on the back straightaway. These guys just have not let Josh Adams take over the race lead at all tonight. They have been extremely aggressive in trying to make passes for that lead. Adams, a Shift Esports Ford. His teammate there in that 30 car, Connor Thompson. He's also got Gilberto Gomera in that, Gilberto Javier in that 85 car in the top lane. Those Shift cars ever get together, they ought to be able to work together pretty well, but they just are a little spread apart right now, and that's kind of hurting the flow for Josh Adams. He's continually getting passed for that lead. Hasn't been able to lead lap.
And it's always a little bit tricky with the duels, right? Because sometimes you don't even have a friend. Even if you have a 4-car team, it sometimes works out where all your teammates are in the other duel or whatever the case may be. So, you know, that's certainly something I'm sure they'll figure it out at some point over the course of 50 laps. But right now, definitely a challenge, those teammates getting hooked up.
Everything's kind of singled out to the bottom of the racetrack here behind Gavin Hibbs. Worth noting some cleanup business. Mark Rabilis had some connection issues. He has missed the start of this race. Austin and Abnett also missed the start of the race. He is 4 laps down, will not, I believe, be racing in the Daytona 500 next week in that 60 car. And then Ethan Burrell is currently still a lap, well, he's about to go a lap down right now by the back.
For about 5 seconds, that was true, yes.
Yes, he's now 1 lap down. Is Ethan Burrell. He will rejoin this pack after getting a black flag for jumping the start and obviously making a mistake here early in the duel, but this is the time to make that mistake, right, Zach? I mean, you can't afford that next week. You can this week.
Well, yeah, for sure. And one thing I do need to follow up on, because now I'm thinking about it, is there any kind of rule as far as the toll for next week? Does he need to run all the laps, emphasis on all, as in 50?
I don't think it's all. I think he has to make an effort. I think in NASCAR, if they didn't go to a backup car, they wouldn't send him away from the pole. So
right.
I think that rule will maintain in real life, and Ethan Burrell will be on the pole even if this race goes green the full way and he runs 49 of the 50.
Okay.
Up front, it is still Gavin Hibbs, Josh Adams, Thomas Coonan, as it's been for a couple laps now. The outside lane starting to gain some momentum back. Jeff Green being pushed by Matthew Weeks, trying to work their way up to that outside lane and work their way alongside these leaders that have kind of worked that bottom forward. And, you know, they're alongside Jaden Racimus, one of the open cars. Here comes Thomas Coonan up to the top of the racetrack in front of Jeff Green, and Jeff elects to push that 36 car. Zach, I'll tell you what, that's a bold move by Thomas Coonan right now. I think later in the race, Jeff's going to take him 3 wide, and that's the kind of move that could cause an incident.
It certainly could, but at the same time, hey, what does Thomas Coonan have to lose?
Right.
You know, he was fastest of the open cars in qualifying. This is a great chance for... This is not an opportunity afforded to many open competitors, the chance to actually go into your duel and go to school, right? Find out what works, find out what doesn't, and take some notes for next Wednesday.
Thomas Coonan, obviously, got Rev Limit Workshop on the door of that car. That's the sponsor of the Daytona 500 next week, and now you're going to see Ethan Burrell trying to go to the outside, work his way forward. Gerald Campbell follows him up to the outside lane, trying to get his lap back the old-fashioned way. It's Ethan Burrell, and as he works to the outside of Jaden Racimus. What a great start to the night for a couple of open cars here on that bottom lane. Connor Thompson, Jaden Racimus, as they work around Michael Hosack on the apron, who hit the wall on the opening lap of this race. They're getting squirrely up here. Adams and Hibbs went up to the outside lane to block it. The run by Ethan Burrell, that did not work out for Josh Adams. He's jumped back to the bottom. He's got his Shift Racing teammate Connor Thompson behind. Ethan Burrell now pushing Gavin Hibbs. Burrell's 1 lap down, but trying to get hit out in front of this field so that he can potentially get his lap back if a caution comes out and be able to pit with the race leaders.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be huge for Ethan Burrell. I mean, we say huge. I mean, it's not like his finishing position really matters, but if he, again, this is a chance for all of these guys who are locked in to learn some stuff for next Wednesday, and it's got to be a lot easier to learn if he's on the lead lap, but he's having no problem mixing it up at the moment.
One thing about Ethan Burrell, he will always mix it up, work really well with whoever he's running with out there, give them really good pushes. And here he is, a good push to Josh Adams, gets him out to the race lead, but Burrell stays up in the outside lane with a push from Gerald Campbell and Valor the Eagle on the nose of that number 31 car. and now trying to work that outside lane while Adams holds serve up front in front of Gavin Hibbs. And Hibbs and Adams have been really steady as two of the top drivers right now in that bottom lane. They have been able to maintain their track position extremely well through the early part of this race.
And already, go ahead.
But I was going to say, maintaining track position is kind of the thing I look for in a plate race. You know, you don't want to be making moves so aggressive that it drops you to the back of the field and you have to work your way back forward. If you're able to maintain your spot in line in the top 5, top 10, to me that's usually the sign of someone very comfortable in their car and able to comfortably work in the draft. That works really well. You also see the guys in the back that aren't really making moves. I always tend to gravitate towards those guys as folks you're gonna want to keep an eye on late in the race. So anybody who's not pushing their way forward right now, you got like Trey Holmes back there, you got Ryan Schold back there, Paul Mikolajczyk's not really doing anything right now. Those guys late in the race, watch out.
Already 13 laps in the books, working lap 14. It looks like they are closing in on another
Laps car.
Yep, that's a 24 on pit road.
Yeah, they are lapping by Sean Judson right now in the 97 on the back straightaway here, and Judson has yielded that inside lane. Also the lead between Adams and Hibbs, and Adams has no help behind him. Those front two side by side, but the field's going to have a really big run coming back to the rear bumper of those two leaders.
Looks like right now, yeah, they're just got to keep pushing. Josh Adams at the moment. We'll see what this bottom lane can do.
It worked out really well for the two leaders, did not impede their progress at all. Now Gerald Campbell drops to the bottom. Adams tries to drop in front of that 31 car. Gerald trying to look for the race lead here in this dual race. Lap 15, Gerald back to the top, bypassed Ethan Burrell, now goes up to get a push from the 37 car. It's always good to see those, Zach. You can pretty clearly make some moves in this car. We have seen this package be a kind of a train package, get single file and just ride, but it seems like a single individual car can make moves. Usually though, you're going to want to push or you're going to want some help, and that's certainly what Gerald Campbell mentioned to us in the qualifying session during his interview. He's got some teammates in this race.
He's been making some moves, but right now it seems like Gavin Hibbs and Josh Adams have been able to work together really well. When they get hooked up, they're able to kind of, doesn't look like you can tandem for long, but you are able to use it to get out front a little bit. It's helping keep them out front. Now you see Gerald Campbell trying to use that to push Gavin Hibbs out front so that he can get out to the lead here and force Josh Adams to push him.
Paul just made an incredible save off turn 4. He tried to take Dylan Javier 3 wide, had to back out of it, tried to get back in line. Caleb Pecumer was not going to be willing to let Paul Mikolajczyk get back in line, and they made contact. Paul with a great save to keep the 77 car straight and keep us under green.
You have to imagine we're going to see a lot more of that. We're already closing in on halfway in this duel, and a little bit of squirrely there up front. I think maybe Josh Adams didn't quite get Gerald Campbell's center, or maybe clipped him as he was trying to change lanes, whatever the case may be. Gerald Campbell lost a lot of momentum there, and now you see again Gavin Hibbs, Josh Adams battling for that top spot.
Big bump draft from Ethan Burrell to the rear bumper. That number 22 shift esports forward for Josh Adams. He will take that lead over once again. Adams has been very consistent at the front of this field. Here comes Matthew Weeks and Trey Holmes into the top 3 and up in that outside lane behind Ethan Burrell. Those Pro Edge Toyotas starting to move towards the front here and working together very nicely. Tell you what, Zach, I've got visual damage on the nose of both the 23 and the 11. I doubt that's impeding their speed at all. That may just be visual damage, but I wonder what happens when you get the nose of one of those two Toyotas in the clean air.
have to imagine it would have some kind of impact. There you see, looking from the rear camera of, that would be Ethan Burrell's car. Yep, Ethan Burrell's car looking back at Matthew Weeks, and you can see that damage on the nose of the number 11.
It's also on Trey Holmes. They almost have identical damage there. But again, I don't know how much that's actually impacting the 23 and the 11 car. I might even try to go back real quick and take a look and see where they acquired that damage from.
Now we go on the onboard Matthew Weeks looking back at Trey Holmes, and there you can see the damage. Like you say, very similar looking damage on the nose of the Pro Edge 23 of Trey Holmes, that Jordan brand logo on the hood. Obviously not as much of an issue when you're in this pack. The nose is pretty much in the draft, out of the air. But I'm kind of like you, David. I think if they get out front somehow, that could be an issue for them.
Yeah, I'm interested to see whether they make any moves. Obviously, those two very comfortable with the plate track, very patient plate racers, willing to wait towards the end of these races. Matthew Weeks, obviously a multi-time Daytona 500 winner. He knows how to get it done at this track. And in this format, they are 3 wide again around Paul Mikolajczyk. It's Dylan Javier and Caleb Bakumer working that outside lane. A couple of Chevrolets up there.
I just don't think they're going to have enough help up there to really make that work, but they're going to try. It looks like Ray Bracy and another car I can't quite make out has joined them, but I just don't know if 4 cars is going to be enough to get that outside lane working.
Like that damage has come strictly from...
Jones.
Yeah, Brett Jones is the one up there. I think that damage for Holmes and Weeks has strictly come from bump drafting, so I think it's mostly cosmetic. Big run again by that outside lane. Working pretty well for Dylan Javier, Caleb Bakumer, and Ray Bracy. They've made up some time. Pretty aggressive here, though, as Javier is able to clear to the middle lane in front of Mikolajczyk. This is a dangerous spot, though, to be if you're any of those open cars, which Dylan Javier is. They're able to kind of sort things out for now. Ray Bracy still 3 wide up top. Harrison Talon tries to get out of that middle lane. He will do so, and we stay green. These guys have been able to run 22 consecutive green flag laps. You will have to make a pit stop here before the end of this race. You can only go about 40 to 45 laps on fuel, if my memory serves, and the car hasn't been updated since the last time we ran here.
We'll definitely see. I have to imagine for a lot of these guys, if that is the case, they're going to run it long, right? They're going to want to put as little fuel as possible in, no tires, keep that pit stop as short as possible, and hope, better yet, you get a caution before you get to that point and it takes care of it altogether.
Right, and that's certainly the hope. You're obviously not changing tires. I'll get in there and get on the pace lap and turn off the tires. You're not going to need them in this race. You're just going to want to go ahead and fuel up this race car, make sure it's full of fuel. That pun is absolutely intended for any fueled up drivers or fans listening, for the Harrison Talon car, among others, that are going to be running in the series. But Gavin Hibbs is, well, the race leader. But yeah, you're going to need a very small amount, right? It's going to be a splash and go effectively when you do hit pit road, regardless of whether that's kind of at a caution flag or not. You just need enough to get to the end of the race. I wouldn't even worry about tires. I wouldn't worry about filling it up for a green, white, checkered or anything. Just try and get there, because if we do get to a point where we have a late caution and get into a green, white, checkered, it's all hell's gonna break loose like it is right now. Jeff Green around contact with Gilberto. Got his teammate Kyle Hanshaw as well, and there's the yellow flag, throwing all of the fuel talk out the window completely. That was right around the area where Paul Mikolajczyk and Dylan Javier had been racing 3 wide a couple of times. Here goes Mikolajczyk to the middle lane, and he gets a piece of Jeff Green on the way there.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to see Paul Mikolajczyk went to the middle there. Jeff Green had moved up a little bit as well. Contact that upsets the balance of that 2 car, spins him out right in front of Gilberto Javier. I mean, that's a shot right in the right rear for Jeff Green. I can't imagine that's healthy for the 2 car. And then, of course, he hits the wall. That's also no good. Brent Jones, does he avoid contact? Because he was hard on the brakes here. Like he was slowed down enough that gravity started sending the car down the banking. I think he stays out of it.
We're going to need to go on board with Brent Jones for this one. What an incredible display of heads-up driving by Brent. Here it is. I mean, you're going to see this wreck occur right in front of him. Kyle Hanshaw is in front of him. He's going to get a piece of Jeff Green right there, and Brent hard on the brakes, able to get it woed up and avoid any contact with the 2-car. Really good work by Brent Jones to avoid adding further damage to that incident.
And it's not like he was going to be able to turn left and get around that either. That was his only escape route, and he had to react immediately to get that car stopped in time. I mean, you could barely see the wreck starting from that perspective when he was already lifting and on the brake. So he sensed something was about to happen there clearly, and thank goodness he did.
Some of the best plate racers have that sense of when an incident's going to happen. Down pit road comes everyone. All of the drivers on the track will be hitting pit road here. They'll be filling it up with fuel, and they will be ready to go to the end. Here, Ethan Burrell will get the lucky dog. This does allow Sean Judson to get back into this race and have another opportunity to stay with the pack. He got separated early in the event during that Michael Hosack incident on the first lap. And Josh Adams wins the race off pit road in that 22 car with a fuel-only stop. A few other guys took fuel-only. I saw Dylan Javier off pit road really early. I think Gavin Hibbs came off pit road pretty early, but Ray Bracey's out real early as well. So this could have shaken up the running order. Some guys, I think, took less or more fuel, maybe some tires. And some other guys only... Thomas Coonan is out second, I think. Ray Bracey's out third. This could be a real shakeup of the previous running order.
Looks like 7 of the top 8 took 2 tires. Gavin Hibbs, only one, maybe took 4. Which is about 4 seconds longer.
I guess those guys did have to fill up, 20 laps worth of fuel, so you probably did have time to go ahead and throw the right sides on there. I don't know that that's going to make any sort of a difference on this racetrack right now. It seems pretty cool, and typically when it's cool racetrack, which it is 69 degrees out there, that's going to be a very grippy racetrack. The tires likely not going to have much of an impact. So there's Sean.
I'm sorry, I had the chuckle as the wreck was happening. I don't even think Jeff had stopped crashing yet, and Ethan Burrell was like, I'm pretty sure you just got wrecked, Jeff, but I need pit passes for such and such a race. So, have friends in high places, I guess, but I think he could have waited like 5 seconds to put in that request. I don't know, man.
He was holding on to that till the first caution, so he had to get it off his mind.
Amazing. I think Jeff would give him the pit passes if he could have that pole position next Wednesday, huh?
Maybe they can work out a barter.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were going to tell us something really important about the 97 car here, I believe.
It's super important. Sean Judson's going to get a wave around as he did not pit. That's, I think, a good move. He's going to have to pit yet again, right? But this is his best shot.
Yeah, it's his only shot, I think, at this point. You get the lap back here, you hope for a quick yellow, or at least one before you have to pit, but the sooner the better. And then you go about trying to get your way back into the Daytona 500. That's no better.
Right, yeah, that's his best bet for sure. Is Sean Judson, and I don't envy him. Lost the draft on lap 1. This has not been a fun night for that 97 car. So here's hoping he can get back in this thing and try to make it interesting with those open cars. I think really you've got Connor Thompson in the top group. Thomas Coonan is there in the top group as well. I believe Coonan is just considered locked in, so it would be Connor Thompson currently leading those open cars at the moment. But I mean, there's not a whole lot of competition in that slot. Dylan Javier is currently 8th. That'll be the closest one. Actually, Dylan's above Connor Thompson at the moment in terms of those open cars, so it'll be between Dylan and Connor. Jaden Racimus is 5th too. I'm all over the place. We got a bunch of them here in the top 10, but they're all up at the front. It's Jaden. It's Dylan Javier, it's Connor Thompson as those open cars fighting for that spot.
I was in the middle of giving you some open car color when the caution came out, so I'll be finishing that up here.
Yeah, and then you've got Judson and Nabnett would be the other cars that are considered open in this race, and then obviously Thomas Kunin, who's locked in.
And something worth noting before we go back green here that I don't think we mentioned in the lead up, there are points on the line for even these, so these charter guys do have a reason to race. Top 10 earned points towards the championship standings, 10-1. So something to race for other than just starting position next Wednesday.
Yep. And these, I believe the last spot in the playoffs this year came down to single-digit points, which is something you can earn right now in this dual race. So you got to get started on that early. Josh Adams out to the lead here once we have run the green flag. Lap 27 on the board. Adams leading Ray Bracey, Gavin Hibbs working that inside lane around Thomas Kunin, Jaden Racimus rather, in that one car, and Ryan Schold on the bottom. They're hanging out. Caleb Becumer, Dylan Javier is the next car in line on the bottom, and that's the first open car to try and lock himself into this race. No, it's not. It's Jaden Racimus.
You're doing great. Man, they got really strung out on that restart, but once they get packed up, it'll bunch back up once again. But right now, Josh Adams able to get out front, Ray Bracey in second, Gavin Hibbs in third. Already that second lane trying to build up.
Caleb Becumer working with Dylan Javier right here, trying to push their way forward. Gavin Hibbs jumped in front of them, try to lead this outside lane, and it has been Hibbs and Adams up front in the majority of this race. Ray Bracey now working in the top 5, as well as Caleb Becumer. So some new names that had been hanging out in the back in the first stage of this event, now moving to the front. We'll see if Bracey gets any sort of aggressive, but if I know anything about Ray, he's looking to hang out right there on that bottom lane. I think that guy is going to stay nice, calm, collected, wait for these guys around him to make the crazy moves, and he'll just take advantage of it later, because there you go. Thomas Kunin to the outside in front of Gavin Hibbs. Ray Bracey on the bottom, taking advantage, moving forward, going to get a push from Jaden Racimus when that one car gets there. Ray Bracey running calm and collected on that bottom lane. It's going to get really racy here, though, Zach. I mean, you've got a lot of pretty fast cars in the back of this field.
Well, that's one thing by having that caution, right? There were probably some guys that were mixing it up a little bit, but also being mindful of their fuel number to try and keep that potential green flag pit stop as short and as quick as possible. You could throw that out the window now. It's all about getting that track position, getting out front. I think you're going to see a lot more aggression now that we've eliminated the potential for a green flag pit stop.
That stopped Gavin Hibbs and Josh Adams from being aggressive the whole part of this race, but they've been very controlled aggressive. The moves have been very clear, very forthcoming and accurate, and you've seen them be able to utilize those moves to maintain this track position, and that's going to be a really big key as we approach the end of this race. Some of those other drivers just have not been able to maintain that track position once they've gotten to the front of the field. We'll see if some of these newcomers to the top group can maintain it. Thomas Kunin is up here in the race lead right now. You've got Caleb Becumer, Ray Bracey, some of those other guys that have utilized the pit strategy to move forward in the field. Can they maintain that track position? The inside lane again with the big energy, and Ray Bracey's going to take a run. The outside lane on Josh Adams. He wasn't able to get to the side draft, though, and now Ray's going to be relying on Gavin Hibbs to give him a push.
And now, oh boy, that was a little bit tight, but Josh Adams again able to get out to the outside. He's got to lead him to the line here. It'll be now 19 laps to go as, again, we see these guys up front not afraid to mix it up here in the second half of fuel number 1.
Ray shows that time. I think he saw that 36 car starting to slow down a little bit, elected to make that move up to the outside lane. Now Adams jumps in front to try and cover Ray Bracey. Bojo in that number 7. The bright green car is going to get turned into Kunin.
Oh, no!
Around goes Racimus. Around into the wall goes Gavin Hibbs. No caution yet. It probably will be. Yes. Dylan Javier is going to spin out on the apron. Connor Thompson is involved. A lot of the open drivers got caught in this one. I don't know if there was anything Ray could have done. I think he checked just a little bit for Adams coming up the racetrack, and he got hooked by Hibbs from behind. That might end the day for several strong cars there.
I will say that was, for the record, that was, and this seems to kind of go on again, off again, but that was an admin administered yellow here at the Super Speedway, and
I think that's a great call.
you and I have been begging for this for a long time. We need this at Daytona and Talladega, so glad we have that. Again, I know why iRacing didn't throw the yellow. You don't have anybody at reduced speed sideways on the racing surface, but all these guys checking up for the wreck, not to mention the cars that were sent off the racing surface to the grass. Here you see Gilberto Javier losing control, trying to get gathered back up, as well as maybe Dylan Javier.
Yeah, that is the one.
Yeah, that's something we've been begging for a long time. Glad to see we have it. 100% the right call here in this situation. As we look at these replays, I don't see any meatballs, but obviously some cars are gonna have some damage to get fixed here. You see Gavin Hibbs come to pit road. You see Ray Bracey come to pit road. Unfortunately, we talked about a guy needing the caution being Sean Judson, and I can't tell if he has a damage or not. That may have been the caution he needed, or it may not have been the caution he needed. He just missed his pit box. That isn't going to help, but we'll see how long that pit stop is, whether that's just fuel or did he get collected in that in some fashion.
Taking a look through the wreck, it looks like Judson made it through okay. He may yet get the, but he did pit initially. We'll have to see if he gets the. Oh no, he did. He's good. He didn't need the lucky dog. He took the wave round.
Correct. Yes.
That's right. So yeah, he's on the lead lap. That was the caution Sean Judson needed.
That was
to be
the
able
caution
to get.
he needed. Perfect.
Yep. So he does have an opportunity to get into this Daytona 500, and obviously one of his strongest competitors just might have gotten taken out in that wreck. Jaden Racines is back out on track in the one car, though that damage didn't seem too severe, as he didn't have to wait very long on that car, so he may be okay in that one. I believe the damage will be a little more significant for Ray Bracey and Gavin Hibbs.
Just a little bit of housekeeping from that first caution, working out some technical gremlins with the new race control, as far as you're used to here on the Elite Racing Network, getting that update from race control on the screen when a tally is administered. Still working that out with Sam Boutwell, Dominic Wright, the new race control for this season. I can tell you, however, Paul Mikolajczyk issued the tally for the first caution. We will, I'm sure, get word momentarily on the second incident.
Let's see what the call was with that. It looked just like a bit of a rough bump draft. I'm not entirely sure you can pin that on Gavin Hibbs or Ray Bracey in the spot. So,
hey, there it is.
Yep,
it works.
There
now.
we go.
Hooray! Paul Mikolajczyk tally for caution number 1.
Yep.
Great success.
Yeah, for all
not
the
for us.
Right.
Sorry.
For all the bettors looking to collect your winnings on first tally of the season award. Paul Mikolajczyk, if you were betting against certain drivers, I might have thrown money against Chad Frankenfield because he ended up in Duel 2. So the elite sports book collecting its paychecks here. As we are 1-to-green once again. With Josh Adams remaining out in front, and they're going to give it to Gavin Hibbs. Bad bump is the call by race control here. So it's a tough break. You get such a big closing speed in a later block by Josh Adams. I don't know if there was a ton Gavin Hibbs could have done there. But at the same time, you do have to be cognizant when you see that 22 car move up the racetrack that Ray's just not going to be able to keep it in the gas. He is going to have to let off a little bit once the 7 car connects to the 22. And very minor mistake, I would call it, by Gavin Hibbs, but a mistake nonetheless.
And for those who may be new with the new season to watching here on the Elite Racing Network tally, it is for most purposes, especially if you only get one, it's just hey, race control believes you were at fault for the incident. There's no end of longest line penalty or anything like that. As long as you keep it, just one here or there, there's really no further action. However, if you accumulate tallies over the course of a race or multiple races, that's when more severe penalties come into play, such as points penalties, or last night in our 2003 series event, we had a drive-through penalty. and 2 EOLs to start the race. That's where you definitely don't want to go accumulating those, especially this early in the season.
It's not good, but for a guy like Paul, who I would say is pretty usually a clean driver, I think he'll be able to take that one off the board at some point in the near future. Green flag back out. The Shift Esports Fords of Josh Adams and Connor Thompson with a very strong jump at the start here. They are going to utilize that team restart to pull down to the bottom of the racetrack in front of Ryan Schold in that 4 car and get going on that bottom lane. The outside is now led by Michael Goodman as Matthew Weeks found a hole in that inside lane. Goody's getting pushed by Paul Mikolajczyk, but they are well back. The inside lane still moving forward.
I will echo your sentiment from qualifying. Thank God Ryan Schold and Chad Frankenfield are not in the same duel. Yeah, those cars do look incredibly similar, but right now Ryan Schold holding on to third in that bottom lane as you saw Thomas Kunin jump to the outside. He's going to have, I believe that's Matthew Weeks behind him. It is, and Kyle Hanshaw as well on the outside lane.
Weeks, Hanshaw working that outside. You also have Caleb Becumer in that outside lane as well as Paul Mikolajczyk. On the bottom, it is the teammates, Josh Adams, Connor Thompson. Thompson, one of those open cars, needs to race his way in. What a great spot for him to be right now. Second in line on that bottom lane, leading those open cars. Pressure from Thomas Kunin, but his nearest competitor is really, it's Sean Judson back in like 13th spot. So with that incident kind of moving some of the cars that he's racing against back in the field, I feel like this is kind of a really good opportunity for Connor Thompson to get into this race, especially with Josh Adams up here right at the front of the duel trying to control it.
There'll be 13 laps to go this time at the line. Josh Adams leading the way. Connor Thompson holding on to that top open spot. Certainly that last caution gave him some breathing room in that department, but I have to imagine we're going to see a little more aggression from the rest of those open competitors trying to get to the front, and 13 laps is an eternity here at the 2.5-mile Daytona International Speedway.
He got single file for a little bit, but no longer. Gerald Campbell to the outside of Ryan Schold for third. He's going to have drafting help from Trey Holmes in the 23 car. And incoming Matthew Weeks as well in the 11. That's so going to bring Thomas Kunin forward. Outside line starting to surge. Campbell and Fowler the Eagle working their way towards the front. Up comes Josh Adams as he's done all race long. Throws the block on Gerald Campbell. Now Connor Thompson leading that bottom lane in car 30. Adams has liked to jump back down, but here comes Gerald Campbell underneath Josh Adams. Just about spins out the 22. Thompson checked up. Trey checked up. And it gave both the room to check out and even gain some ground on these packs. But here comes Connor Thompson back in that 30 car.
Josh Adams. Oh, yes, the 3 wide.
Mikolajczyk jumped to the outside lane. No help whatsoever for that 77 car. Caleb Becumer holds it to the middle. He will drive on by Mikolajczyk. Those two cars have come together already in this race. Now Holmes up to the outside lane, trying to find some air on that 23 as he pushes Gerald Campbell towards the lead. Campbell, that leads the lap at the line. 11 laps to go in this dual race. Fords working strong together on the bottom of the racetrack. Big bump draft into turn 1. Connor Thompson, Ryan Schold trying to give the push to Josh Adams to push him forward, but it's those Toyotas pushing Gerald Campbell up in the outside lane. Here come the Pro Edge Toyotas. Trey Holmes to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll look for the race lead around Gerald Campbell. Matthew Weeks follows suit. Adams will follow them through to third. Campbell's going to back up this outside lane pretty badly because the 31 car lost all its momentum. Here comes Thompson through to fourth, Schold through to fifth. It's going to be Thomas Kunin trying to generate that outside lane run for Gerald Campbell. One thing I've noticed, it's really hard for them to get back going in that outside lane unless someone jumps up in front of them.
And I mean, one guy that is really hurting because of that is, I mean, you're looking at guys like Caleb Becumer and Paul Mikolajczyk, Brent Jones were starting to make some headway on that outside lane, and all of a sudden the parachute came out, and they have fallen back.
Starting to surge forward now. Kunin got it working, giving Gerald Campbell the big push. He's up to fourth in that outside lane. Coonan with the strong push in that 36 car. Green number next to the Coonan's name means he's locked into the race on his qualifying lap. So that battle between Thomas Coonan and Connor Thompson, pretty irrelevant. Thompson's biggest concern right now is car number 57, Dylan Javier, in 16th place. Pretty safe right now for Connor Thompson, barring any incident. He just needs to keep this 30 car up in this top group.
Right now, those Toyotas split up.
Did Matthew Weeks jump to the outside lane to get a hold of that the outside and get in front of Gerald Campbell with that big run. Campbell gives Matthew Weeks the push up to the race lead. Trey Holmes getting pushed by Josh Adams down the bottom. Pro Edge trying to take control of both of the lanes in this race. This is a pretty reasonable strategy. The risk, of course, is that someone jumps 3 wide on you and you end up losing control of both lanes. Trying to work together with your teammate. Here comes Gerald Campbell now to the bottom of the racetrack, jumping underneath Matthew Weeks. That'll yield that second spot in the outside lane to Thomas Coonan. Trey Holmes trying to grab a piece of that side draft off of Caleb Pecumer's car. You mentioned he was moving forward. Pecumer up into third.
And what a run for driver of car 59 is they're really mixing it up behind him. Paul Mikolajczyk has not been shy about making moves in car 77. Now 3 wide, and he gets the push from Ethan Burrell and Trey Holmes. He's in the middle, and Brent Jones was blinking a little bit there behind him. That's not helping that middle lane at all.
Oh, right now they're 3 wide. Mikolajczyk and Burrell up top. Pecumer works from the bottom to the middle. Now all lane trying to take the lead from Matthew Weeks. He'll have to slam it back to the middle in front of Thomas Coonan. That opens the door for that outside lane, but they're not going anywhere. They're starting to fall back. Now it's Pecumer to the bottom of the racetrack. Underneath Matthew Weeks for the race lead, you've got Gerald Campbell pushing him, Coonan pushing Week, but the push is going to come to that bottom lane first. 3 wide mid-pack behind. Mikolajczyk now gets in line behind Jaden Racimus, and Racimus has surged from about 15th up to the top 7 in front of Connor Thompson for that transfer spot.
Business is about to pick up. We're down to the single digits. You can see the intensity wrapping up. Oh, by the way, that battle for the top open spot, 7th and 8th, Jaden Racimus, the black and yellow and white Caterpillar number 1. Connor Thompson, the white and blue 30.
That's the battle right now to get into this Daytona 500. Sean Judson, Dylan Javier too far back. Javier working 3 wide up top around Harrison Talon in the mid-pack, but that car is just a little too wide, doesn't have any drafting help. Javier's not going to be able to get forward. Here comes Trey Holmes 3 wide to the outside lane. Racimus will go with him. Thomas Coonan stuck in the middle. He'll fall back in the 36 car.
Back goes Thomas Coonan in the trash chute, as Gerald Campbell called it earlier during qualifying. Right now, that bottom lane in good shape, but out jumps Josh Adams. But Matthew Weeks was there, so now Josh Adams has got to fall back.
Josh Adams tried to get a hold of that outside lane, could not get it done. Here comes Matthew Weeks and Trey Holmes working back to Caleb Pecumer. 5 laps to go at the line. Adams falls well back outside the top 10. Pecumer holding strong on the bottom in front of Gerald Campbell. And Matthew Weeks and Trey Holmes up in that top lane trying to make the outside work. The momentum starting to pick up in that outside lane. Jaden Racimus giving the big push to Trey Holmes. Matthew Weeks through to the lead. He'll clear to the bottom of the race. Pecumer and close off the advance of Pecumer and Campbell in the bottom.
Closing in. Ray Bracey jumping off to down below the yellow line. He will stay out of the way of the battle for the leaders here. 4 laps to go. Matthew Weeks leading the way. Caleb Pecumer second. Jaden Racimus trying to push Trey Holmes in. Right now, that's got to allow Connor Thompson to get out front. That bottom lane on the move at the moment.
4 laps to go for Matthew Weeks, Caleb Pecumer, Gerald Campbell, Connor Thompson. But Trey Holmes got the push from Jaden Racimus, working that outside lane, trying to bring them back to the front. But a lot of those guys up here, they're not going to jump out in front of Trey Holmes right now, especially not Connor Thompson. He cannot afford to go to the back. He's got to stay in line right here in that 30 car, maintain that track position, hope that Jaden Racimus doesn't get up by it.
And honestly, if you're Connor Thompson, I think that's exactly what you got to be thinking, because if anything, the guys on the bottom are going to be the guys to head that off if it gets ahead of steam. Gerald Campbell's got to be the aggressive one. Caleb Pecumer's got to be the aggressive one to try and jump in front of that outside lane and go for the win. Let them do it and try to pass them.
3 laps to go at the line. Thompson being side drafted by Trey Holmes. Holmes, remember, is being pushed by Jaden Racimus. Thompson now sees them move up. 2 cars move up, Campbell and Week. Thompson now second on the bottom's got to give a big push here to Caleb Pecumer if he wants to have a chance at this win. He didn't get there quite in time. Holmes moves down to the Racimus ahead of, and they're coming down to 2 laps to go.
2 laps to go, and once again, those open competitors are side by side. Racimus will get a little bit of an advantage at the moment, but you can see how close the 30 and the 1 are with 2 laps to go.
Thompson's going to have to make an aggressive move. Sean Judson tried the outside lane. Did not work. 2 laps to go now at the line. It is Jaden Racimus in control of the open spot to get into this Daytona 500. And remember, all hope is not lost if Connor Thompson does not pass Jaden Racimus here with 2 laps to go as they surge forward on that bottom lane behind Gerald. The second highest finishing car in either duel will transfer into the 500. So Thompson needs to stay in this top 10 or so in order to have a really good chance at making that 500 if the second duel doesn't have a better finisher. So you got to finish as high as you can, even if you don't make that pass.
Absolutely.
Oh, they're trying to crash.
If they make it to the white flag, it'll be a race to the checkered no matter what. White flag is in the air.
White flag in the air, final lap here from the duels at Daytona. You've got Gerald Campbell and Caleb Pecumer on the bottom of the racetrack. Trey Holmes and Matthew Weeks up top. The battle is for the transfer spot at 3rd in line. It is Jaden Racimus and Connor Thompson working against one another to try and get into next week's Daytona 500.
It doesn't get any closer than this. 3 wide further back. I don't know if they have enough time to make that work. Gerald Campbell on the bottom. Trey Holmes up top. Caleb Pecumer pushing Campbell out in front. That's exactly what Connor Thompson wants.
Thompson's got the edge right now. It's going to come down to coming off turn. Pecumer works to the top in front of Holmes. They make contact. That's going to allow Holmes with a push, but Connor Thompson shoves Gerald Campbell. Campbell wins the duel. Connor Thompson transfers to the 500. Clean finish there. Those guys did a really good job. And Connor Thompson with a 2nd place finish. He will into next week's Daytona 500. I'll tell you what, Zach, Gerald Campbell is 2 for 2 this week.
2 for 2 for Gerald Campbell. Great start to his speed weeks here in the Elite Cup Series. So Jaden Racimus coming home 6th. That means for him to take part, he wants to drive the 2nd place open driver in the 2nd duel to be 7th or worse. 6th would come down to obviously a tiebreaker going back to qualifying times, but then that's what he's looking at the moment. Connor Thompson, of course, racing his way into the Daytona 500 in that Shift Esports number 30 car. He will be in next week's Rev Limit Workshop Daytona 500.
So that's a really good run by Connor Thompson. You'll love to see that. He did a really good job. And Jaden Racimus did a really good job too. I think that both of those guys put it all on the line right there, put themselves in really good spots to go out and try and transfer in.
Don't beat you, Gerald. He beached it.
No.
Oh,
I think he's all right. I think he's all right.
We're good.
So we will talk to Gerald Campbell and Connor Thompson and then transfer over to duel number 2. Zach, do you want to take care of that so I can go get ready for my duel?
Yeah, David Westergreen about to strap in for duel number 2, so we'll see who joins in the waiting room here as we await that 2nd duel. Good luck, David.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a good broadcast, and we're going to try to get for sure Danny Gore in the race, if not myself as well. It'll be a fun race. I'm excited. Hopefully we like you said, they had the exciting one and we have the clean one, but I can't say I'm expecting too much after all that craziness.
There you see the results. Gerald Campbell, Connor Thompson, Trey Holmes, Ryan Schuld, Matthew Weeks, the top 5 in this first duel. So Gerald Campbell will start 3rd next week in the Rev Limit Workshop Daytona 500. I see we've got some guys trickling into the waiting room. So first, let's grab 2nd place finisher and the driver who raced his way into next week's Daytona 500, Connor Thompson Gardner. Connor, do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you, man.
All right, and I know you have to be on cloud nine right now, especially as intense as the end of that race was. What was it like going through those final laps, you having to race with Jaden Racimus for that transfer spot?
It was fun. You know, I've raced with Jaden a lot in trucks and other thing, and we always, I feel like, race each other clean. And I hope Jaden gets in. I forget how that works, but hopefully he gets in. But, you know, thanks to Ryan. Ryan was shoving me the whole last lap, and then the guys like Shifty, Josh, and Gilberto, and Seth just kind of helping me out coaching through it. I've never made a cup start, so this is all kind of new, and honestly kind of feels like a win right now.
And obviously, you mentioned being new, being an open car. As tough as it is to get into the Daytona 500, that's a huge accomplishment. I know that has to give you a lot of confidence approaching both next week and the rest of this season.
Yeah, I'm probably only going to make 2 or 3 cup starts, so this is kind of the big one for me for the year, obviously, with it being the 500. But, you know, kind of sometimes in ARCA and trucks, it kind of gets a little hairy sometimes, and that was just a lot of fun and intense racing. Hopefully that was good on the broadcast, but that was just fun to be a part of and racing with guys like that.
Absolutely. We had a lot of fun in the booth, I promise. Now you've done the hard part, right? You've made your way into the Rev Limit Workshop Daytona 500. What's your mindset? I mean, that's going to give you, I believe, 5th in the starting lineup for next week, 200 laps. How do you go about preparing for next week?
Yeah, I'm just going to kind of rely on my teammates and, you know, see what happens. If I can help one of them win next week, or if it somehow luck goes my way and I get it, it would be nice. But kind of just to have fun. Don't get to race on Wednesdays much, and look forward to it.
Well, certainly before we let you go, let's give you a chance to make those shout outs on the second place finish here in the Duel.
Yeah, obviously everything Seth does for us, and then Northwestern Mutual, Logan Rhodes, he's my buddy, came on the car, and then Design Ping, Golden Brew, AB Quality. We got a lot of sponsors that actually tune in and watch us, so shout out to them. And then thank you guys and Chad, and sorry my cat jumped on my lap. But thanks to everybody. What all you guys do. It's a blast to do this.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations, Connor, and we look forward to seeing you next week in the Rev Limit Workshop Daytona 500.
Sounds good. See you guys.
All right, that's Connor Thompson Gardner. He will be in the big show next week. Now we will speak with the winner of the first duel, Gerald Campbell. We meet again, sir.
I told you I would talk to you later. You didn't believe me.
I never questioned it. I was too busy looking at qualifying times to question it, but I never questioned it. Why doesn't matter. But now that I have a little more attention to pay to focus on your sultry tones here, Gerald. I mean, let's talk about that race. You were mixing it up near the front. Clearly, Valor. A little bit more good fortune so far between the Clash and tonight than Donald ever was. You have to feel pretty good now going into next week.
I think it was probably going back to the number 31, my championship number. I don't know if it sparked something in it, but man, I got to say, doing Monday night's race really helped me be able to have the confidence to come into here. I probably wouldn't have raced like I did today if I didn't know how aggressive you could be in Monday night's race where it didn't matter. So I just took that same attitude and went into it tonight, and where I just shoved as hard as I could, and we were whoever I shoved, we were able to get out front. So I knew I could get out front. It was just going to be timing it to where I was in front of somebody. So it was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun.
You say it was a lot of fun. I do have to ask, obviously, 500 miles, but certainly there were some sketchy moments at times, but it felt like as hard as you were pushing, it was never too frenetic for too long at a time. Is that something you think that's intensity that can be maintained for 500 miles next week, or is there going to be some riding around early on in the day?
No, this league has too many guys that want to be out front. See, in this league, what people are going to have a hard time understanding is, even if it doesn't mean a darn thing, as us drivers in this league, just being out front saying that we have such high expectations for ourselves, and it's not even that. It's wanting to be everyone to be behind you more than anything. It's going to make us do every single mile where we're going to want to be out front for. So even me, I think I'm going to go out there and I just want to be out front. I like to be on top, and right now this week has been phenomenal for that. So I'm excited for the 500. Can you guys say that I'm looking to be at one of the favorites at least going into Daytona? I feel like I should be considered one of the favorites going into 500.
I think about so many of the real life 500 where there's always that guy who's been good all speed weeks, and the question is, can he put it together? Can Lady Luck, stay on his side for one more race, right? And that's kind of the vibe we're getting from you right now, Gerald, I have to admit. So we'll see how it plays out next Wednesday. But before we let you go, let's get those shout outs. I know you already gave a bunch of plugs, or really not a lot of plugs earlier, but you won, go for it again. I can't stop you.
There you go. Well, if you have to, because if not, I'll talk all the way through Gatorade Duel number 2. But no, I'm super excited. Gatorade. It's not Gatorade anymore, but oh well. But no, thank you to Do Good for letting me be on this. Do Good has won everything right now. And Jeff Green is looking like a fool for not joining us for this season. But we got Carlos in the next duel. Got a lot of pressure on him to go about getting that win in duel number 2. But thank you to Do Good and Miss Goodies Goodies and all those that are a part of Do Good. And thank you guys for broadcasting. I can't wait to go back and rewatch this. I thought I was going to rewatch Monday night's race for a while, but now I got a new one to watch over and over again.
Absolutely. Well, we'll let you go. Let Dave get in duel number 2 so we can bring the fans that action. And good luck next week, Gerald.
Absolutely. Can't wait for it.
All right. Well, that's Gerald Campbell. He was your winner of duel number 1. We'll be right back with duel 2. See what you got.
Yeah, I was bad now talking to Gerald.
Oh, you're good. Sorry, man.
No, you're good.
Good safety.
Yeah.
He'd have been late otherwise.
Whoa, Fifth.
Yeah. All right. That's just right up the
Yeah, usually where I do start at 500, qualify bad, finish good the goal. I don't want to be like Gerald. I want to win everything. I won the 500. I want to win the. I had finished second in the class 3 years ago. Yeah.
Dang it! How does that not default to that? I'll fix that. Go to the chat board. The 27 people got something. Honestly, as loud as I have the background music going. Oh, okay. Open mic, hot mic, hot mic. These 3Ds don't only do twice a year, but alright, Give me 2 minutes. Actually, we're gonna go wide now. Okay, here we come back.
Welcome back here to the virtual Daytona International Speedway. We're getting ready for the second duel here ahead of next week's Rev Limit Workshop Daytona 500. We've swapped out David Westergreen. He has to go race. We'll see if he can do better than 5th place, which is where Matthew Weeks finished in duel number 1. Matthew Weeks joining me in the booth. Welcome aboard, sir.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys for having me. I think this is actually going to be my first time doing the cup, for the duel, so it should be fun. It's going to be a good time.
Well, you certainly know you got to go out in the first duel, get an idea how this is going to play out. It seems to always be one duel is calm and one is hectic. We only had the 2 cautions in the first one. Do you think this one's going to be a little bit more hectic, or do you think the car is relatively stable enough to keep us mostly in check here in Duel 2?
It's pretty stable. It's not like it was last season. I know, like, in the 500 last season, I was pushing Hosnick out of 4, and he just went around, like, randomly. And it's like, I did not get that feeling pushing anyone now since they updated the car. You can really lock onto their bumper, and you can hit them. The only thing is you got to be careful not to hit them too hard, or you damage the nose.
And we definitely noticed some of that nose damage on your Toyotas. But before we move on, we'll take a look here at the starting lineup for our second duel. Justin Vandermarl starting on the pole for duel number 2. Leighton Norgard in second. Chad Frankenfield will line up in the 3rd position. Ethan Stanley starting 4th in that move to Channel 199 Sim Racing. Joseph Wadsworth, former champion, starting 5th. Johnny Thomas, another Daytona 500 winner, he starts 6th. Jesse Racima 7th. Zach Novak looking to race his way into the Daytona 500. He will be 8th. Ryan Gable 9th. Seth Rawls rounding out the top 10. Garrison Hogan rolling off 11th, and Corey Abbott on the outside of row 6 in position number 12. In 13th, you will have Jonathan Cutlip. David Westergreen, my partner in crime, starting 14th. Ty McIntosh, 15th. After that, Mitch Havere will roll off from the 16th position. Gavin Higgins starting in 17th. Frank Fody starting 18th. Cale Pocock will roll off 19th. Daniel Gore rounding out the top 20, so that's 2 open cars on the 10th row. Carlos Acosta will start 21st. Kirk Gibson 22nd, and Blake Reynolds, after not getting a qualifying time during qualifying earlier this evening, he will start shotgun here in duel number 2.
Yeah, and his goal right now is just to get a good finish spot so you can start to have a better starting spot for the 500.
And certainly, I think one thing we're going to see a lot with those Channel 199 cars, they've got Zach Novak as an open competitor. There are a bunch of those cars in this duel. I have to imagine, first and foremost, their game plan is to get the eNASCAR iRacing Coca-Cola Series driver into next week's Daytona 500.
Yeah, 100%. We're kind of in the same Discord as we have all of us together, and some of them were hanging out with us in that duel, and I've heard them talking and chatting about it. So they're definitely going to try to make sure he makes the race.
See the field making its way out of turn 4 now. Pace car will duck off, and we will get underway with our second duel here. Again, highest finishing open driver will race into Daytona 500. Second open driver needs to better Jaden Racimus' 6th place. Green
Oh, there's
flag
already a
now.
wreck.
Oh!
Carlos is spinning through the infield. Now, and where it came out, there was no caution. Or where it happened at.
Tough break for Carlos Acosta in the 0-2. We'll get a look at it here on the Revelist Photography replay machine. What happened?
I wonder if he missed a shift or something.
That's almost what it looks like, the way the wheels just kind of lock up and spit him to the left.
Yeah, because he was. Yeah, it just looked like he like probably accidentally downshifted and it just blew it and it just hooked it to the left or something like that. And I've never seen a car just hook like that.
No.
No one. He didn't hit nobody or anything. That's crazy.
And of course, another tough break for Blake Reynolds. A bad night gets worse. He is barely hanging on to the draft of this lead pack. We're going to see if he's able to keep up or not, but he's got no help behind him. So, I mean, it has not been Blake Reynolds' night.
Yeah, I think the gap is too big for him to catch it. I noticed the Clash Monday night, like the updated car, there's like a second, probably a second and a, I wouldn't say second half, like a 2.2, like right there's the money spot where you can still maybe get the draft and catch the guys. But now, yeah, he's too far back. He's already way back there.
Yeah, he's already lost a significant amount of time. As we'll focus on the front of the field here after that hectic start. Johnny Thomas leading the way. He's got a Leighton Norgard behind him on that inside lane. Ethan Stanley on the outside. And he's hooked up with the 42 of Zach Novak. So that's a couple of teammates on the outside lane.
Yeah, I could see Zach just staying there. As long as he's the top open guy, he makes the race. And what I've learned too, the side draft is not as strong as it used to be, so it's so hard to really kind of clear that bottom and roll the outside like we used to. It's like the old car, like the old Cup car, where you're just stuck side by side all the time.
Well, that was one thing I did notice. I don't think we really got to talk about it much in the first duel. Is I noticed you didn't see as much of that side drafting, but if that's the case, indeed, if you don't have to, you certainly don't want to tempt the netcode fates here on iRacing.
Yeah. It's still there. It's very little. Like, you can still side draft them, but it's not overpowered like it used to be.
For sure. As now we see Ethan Stanley eking out front here, making their way out of turn number 2 on that outside lane. Zach Novak up to second. I mean, you know, while we're early in this race, Matthew, obviously you've been around a long time here in Elite, accomplished just about everything there is to accomplish here. What is it like for you to start seeing these guys like Blake Reynolds, Zach Novak coming into the Cup Series here in Elite?
I like it. It brings more of a challenge. It makes you want to get better, like, because you know it's been the same faces: me, Ethan Burrell, Stanley, Fody. And there's a couple other guys, you know, they're always racing for wins all the time, and we're always up there. But add these new faces, I think, you know, John's been here 3 years now, so he's still kindly new. He hasn't been around like we have. And you had Zach, Blake, Garrison here and out, you know, in and out. But they bring speed, and they're good. And it makes everyone else in Elite get better and want to compete. So it just makes everything better and everyone a lot better.
I think the other thing too, especially we saw that with Ethan Stanley last year, I've always argued that in the Cup Series especially, the top tier of guys like you, Fody, Ethan Stanley, can absolutely, if you chose to go that route, if you dedicated the time and energy to it, didn't have, you know, full-time jobs or whatever, you were on par with those Coke Series competitors. And Ethan Stanley went toe-to-toe with Blake Reynolds last season. We saw that. It proved the point. And I think you're right. Iron sharpens iron and just elevates the game here in the Cup Series every time we get more and more of these pro drivers here.
Yeah, and what helped me get better is where I got my I rating up and I started doing NIS. And since my high rating was kind of, you know, over 5K, I'll be with a lot of Coke guys running these, you know, the half-distance, full-distance races they do, and I'm getting experience racing these guys on a weekly basis, and that really helped me get better. So having these guys come here is just going to help everyone else get faster.
6 laps complete, working lap 7. Johnny Thomas currently leading the way in that bottom lane in car 83, a Leighton Norgard in the 12. Justin Vandermarl leading the outside lane in that 54 car. Looking quite Trackhouse inspired with the Red Bull and the WeatherTech logos on the car 54.
Yeah, and I know he's happy to have his number back.
That's not the first person I've heard. There's been drivers are funny, man. You talk about numbers. Cheryl Campbell was talking about in his Duel 1 interview. He's happy to have the 31 back. I know David Westergreen even though he's only got to run this and maybe a couple of the Crown Jewels, and normally he's got to be talking with me on Wednesday nights, but he's happy to be patient number 9 again. These guys are funny when it comes to their car numbers.
Definitely. I've been number 11 since we've been racing with these guys on console in 2010, 2011. That's always been my number. And then, we get here, number 11. When I run the truck series, my one-offs, I'm a different number, and it just throws me off. Everyone's just like, dude, what's this weird? You don't have your number. It's just, as a driver, you want to have what's yours. Everyone knows you as that number. Everyone knows you rock that. So it's what you want. You want to be represented as your number.
It's still weird for me in the 2003 series driving the 06. Obviously, Justin Wadsworth is 6 now. He's taken that from me. He won a championship. I'm not 6 anymore. But to me, it's weird not being 6.
Oh yeah, dude. I completely understand. I run a truck series on Tuesday, and I'm the 56, and it just kills me not being the number 11.
I do have
still
Venmo.
relatively calm. Oh, we're taking bribes now, are we, Huck? Okay, all right.
We may not be able to hook you up this year, Matthew, but we could probably make it work next year for you. You do race control for us. You do as race control for trucks. Surely we can give you the 11 for the one race you run.
Nah, man. I'm one of those guys. If someone runs full time and they want it, they can have it. It's all good. Like the same thing with IndyCar. That's why I told Justin, take the 2. I'm only going to be showing up for ovals here and there. So you just know when people are going to commit the full season, you just got to let them have it. It's all good. These guys are just still side by side. It's just so hard to build the momentum down that outside. You really got to get a run, and you got to hope the guy on the pusher on the bottom is getting hot. That's really when the outside starts rolling.
Well, I think one guy who's probably going to mix it up here shortly, I'm sure he's already getting itchy, is that third car on the bottom lane, the 15 of Chad Frankenfield. He's been able to work his way towards the front here, and I can't imagine he's going to want to just ride in third here as they make their way around Carlos Acosta to put him a lap down.
I would agree with you until last season. It's looked like Chad upgraded his wheel and he settled down and relaxed a little bit behind it. He's not as aggressive as he used to be, and it seemed to have really helped him. Like later in the season, he was just getting faster and faster, wasn't having those issues like he was earlier in the season. That's just like I've told him, man, you gotta have a little bit of patience in these cars to really be good. You can't go full out all the time or you're gonna pay for it.
I think that's been, you deal with that a little bit with any car on iRacing because there's always the build updates, and even this past year or so, we've even gotten a bunch of these track updates, the refreshes.
Yep.
But seems like you can never get comfortable on the top of your game. There's always some wrinkle, and I feel like that's really been the case with this next gen car. It feels like it has really been susceptible to dramatic swings with every update.
It has really changed. Like I heard Ethan talking earlier when he was in here. I haven't touched this car since the off season. Since the last race of the season, I didn't touch it. I went on vacation, and when I came back, I was running the 03 car. I didn't touch this car until we ran the Clash Monday night, and it's like, holy crap. And then I did an Indy race just to see what it was like on a racier oval instead of being at a plate track, and it's totally different. Like it has changed. As you see Ryan trying to side draft right there, I thought he was going to wreck everybody. The quick movement now with the wheel, like if you're quick, you will turn, it will spin you out. So you got to be real smooth with it, making those quick adjustments.
Yeah, I think Justin Wadsworth had to back out of it a little bit after that sudden move there from Ryan Gable in the 01. Ryan currently holding that 5th spot, leading the outside lane, trying to get something going up there, but man, he's almost getting chucked out there by, I believe that is David Westergreen behind him.
Yeah, and I think he's trying to side draft him too. I've noticed like down the straights he's getting really close on the door, and it's just not as strong. I think to be honest, I think it hurts both cars. Maybe probably spread out a little bit and go higher up, but then you're at the risk of being put 3 wide middle. So it's a hard thing to do and what to do now. And like it has totally changed the game because the side draft was such a big factor. The last plate races we've done all last season. So everyone's now learning what to do. And I thought I figured some things out Monday night, but they did not seem to work tonight.
And now we are 3 wide here. You see Garrison Hogan leading that outside lane. And this is probably more 3 wide than we saw in all of the first duel right here.
Yeah. It's really hard to get the outside going. I noticed that too. So I wasn't really pushing anyone to try to do that. But this is really the first time I'm starting to notice people really venturing out there. And they're starting to get it going. It's just so hard. I mean, your side the side draft is killer. I mean, you can side draft them, but they're side drafting you right back, and it just stalls it all out.
Yeah, it seems like the very few times we've seen the 3 wide, it filters out pretty quickly. It just cannot seem to build that strength that we have seen at times in the past, and just like that, we're back down to 2 wide. Well, except somebody's shooting the middle there, and now they're back up top, and boy, I think that's Justin Vandermarl maybe that's really trying to make something happen there.
He's trying. I thought he was going to jump up there, but Gavel just really tight on the recorder panel there, side tracks. I'm trying to get this second lane rolling.
And you see here, they're about to lap. That's Gavin Higgins and Blake Reynolds. We mentioned they got stacked up after that incident with Carlos Acosta at the start of the race, and now they're going to go a lap down as well here on lap 16.
And which sucks, but luckily they're charging cars, so don't worry about not making the show. And you can tell, looking at Blake, he got a lot of damage from hitting Carlos on the start of the race.
Some of that nose damage. It does seem like, I mean, you talked about it a little bit before we had to jump into the starting grid, but it seems like the noses in particular, that's one of those changes this season. They seem to be a little more sensitive than they have been in the past.
Yeah, definitely here. I've noticed people just pushing someone like normal, and it crushes the front end. And I've seen people, hit people hard, and it crushes it. So it's like a weird lag, I guess, how it happens. But I didn't hit no one hard in the first duel. I just hit him enough, like normal, and then next thing you know, Ethan told me I had nose damage, and I had 30 seconds when we hit pit road, and I don't know where it came from. So whatever they changed to make the front end weak, it really is not good here.
Well, and that's got to be really tough next week. I mean, you're going to have to keep that nose clean for 200 laps, even with the temptation to bump draft and all of that. So I imagine that's got to be a huge challenge next week.
It is, because like last season, you could really build a run and you could really just hit someone as hard as you could and no damage, and you'd be fine, and you'll have this massive momentum. Now you got to really just ease into their back bumper like other cars, and then lock on and then go. Or if you hit them hard, you just destroy that front end like Blake's.
For those joining us in progress here, lap 18, second duel of the night here in the ahead of next week's, Rev Limit Workshop Daytona 500. Gerald Campbell won the first duel this evening. Connor Thompson raced his way into the Daytona 500. Ethan Burrell won the pole during single car qualifying, and Thomas Kuhn qualified his way in as the fastest open qualifier. So right now, second duel in progress. Seth Rawls leading the way. Zach Novak, the highest open qualifier open car at the moment. Those blue backgrounds signifying the open drivers trying to race their way into the Daytona 500. Zach Novak's got to go to the front here with Johnny Thomas giving the push on the outside.
Yeah, and I could see a lot of guys really pushing or letting Zach push him, knowing that he's a Coke Series driver and how good he is. And I just got word too, I didn't check my messages, Carlos had a shifter issues at the start of the race. That's what happened.
And that would 100% make sense. I mean, we knew it had to be something related to the shift for the rear to spin out that car the way it did on the start of the race. So unfortunate for Carlos Acosta, unfortunate for Blake Reynolds and Gavin Higgins, who also paid a price there. But I mean, even though he's a lap down, you see Carlos mixing it up there in that lead pack. He's the fourth car in the outside lane.
Yeah, it looks like he really didn't get any damage from that. It looks like Blake took most of the damage from that, and He's just hoping for a caution to get a lucky dog, get that damage fixed, and go back out there. And if I'm not wrong, I think Carlos has a charter too, so that's always a good thing if you get wrecked in these duels and fall back on that. Not have to worry about missing the big show.
And we were talking with him during qualifying, and he's really been able to approach this Daytona 500 completely differently than before, not just with the charter, but normally he has been kind of an independent, no real teammates to speak of, and now he is hooked up with the Do Good fellas, and he's going to have a few more friends next Wednesday in the Daytona 500, and that makes all the difference in the world.
It definitely does at these types of tracks, and especially with Do Good. They're really good plate racers, so I could see them really working well and having them up front, and contending with everyone up there. It's going to be a race, especially during the day with the temps, the cars getting hot quick, and it's going to be something. And I can't wait. I'm ready to go get number 3.
I know you are. I know you're just itching, especially after that strong showing in the first duel, and of course you always do so well in all of the full distance races. So certainly I know you're as excited as anyone for next week. If you had to, from what you've seen tonight, handicap the field, who do you think, besides yourself obviously, are going to be the guys to watch next week?
Gerald's been really good. Raced him in the Clash Monday and tonight. He's won both of them, and he was up front the entire time. He was able to push really well. Josh Adams was up there both. He was in the Clash tonight. He was looking pretty well, but he always runs good at these tracks. And Gavin Hibbs was actually, I never really noticed him at the plate tracks, but tonight, when we were in that first duel, he was up there doing some really good blocks and keeping his track position until he got shuffled out. So there's a couple of guys. You can't count out Fody. He's always run good at these tracks too. But there's a handful of people, I would say about 7-8 guys. Oh, what a save.
And I think that start was somebody had blinked out, and they're still blinking out. It's Cutlip, and now they're wrecking. Oh. Yeah, Jonathan Cutlip was blinking in and out. I think that ultimately led to everything we're seeing here that is bringing out the caution here on lap 23. We'll get a look at the Rebelist Photography replay machine, but really unfortunate there because we were having another really good green flag run, and we'll see. So there he is. He had pulled to the apron because I think he knew he had some kind of connection issue. Or maybe there was contact? Wait. That's not Cutlip. That's... Okay. Yeah, so Cutlip is further there. You see the blinking in and out ahead of this second car outside. You don't see him now, but if you play it forward, you'll see a car blink in and out. Okay. Maybe focus back on the car we were on. Yeah. So you'll be able to see the blink right there. He's in and out. So that's when Gavel was calling out, hey, I'm having an issue with this blinking car in front of me. I think that's got to stack up everybody because they're trying to figure out, A, they're trying to figure out what's going on. B, it literally slows down from Ryan on back because they're losing that draft whenever that car disappears. And that's causing the stack up here. I think that's where Vandermarl is going to come together with Frank Fody. Oh, yeah, because they get 4 wide here. Not a whole lot Justin Vandermarl could do there. Not a whole lot Frank was lifting for Carlos, who was moving down to avoid getting into just a kind of a chain reaction because of that stack up, because Ryan is afraid he's running over a car he can't see right now.
Exactly. And once the car starts blinking in front of you, especially at the plate tracks, you start freaking out. You don't know what's going on because he could pop up and you can be inside of him and turn him or turn yourself and have a massive wreck. So that was just a bad spot. Unlucky.
And middle 3 wide is about the worst place. There you see Jonathan Cutlip return. And that's about the worst place you can be for that to happen. If you're on the bottom, then you can kind of exit stage left and not interfere with anybody. If you're in the middle, there's nothing you can do other than keep driving and hope for the best.
Yeah. What I would do, just queue up on blink. If someone says you're blinking, and you're in the middle, just hold the line and just tell people to go around. You're staying right where you're at.
And almost at the same spot we had the first caution in the first duel, right near halfway. That's got to bring everybody to pit road, get rid of those fuel concerns. As there we see another look. That's a few more cars involved. That's Vandermarl and Kurt Gibson coming together.
Teammates too. Unlucky.
I always joke when that happens with friends like that. Who needs enemies?
You're right. Oh, lucky these cars can take a hit, so it looks like they should be able to fix these up and be all right.
Yeah, I don't think we saw too many hard hits, fortunately. So
I mean, I hit the wall head on Monday night and only had 20 seconds. So.
I was surprised with a couple of those hits we saw in the Jeff Green incident that we didn't see any meatballs that I recall in the first.
Yeah.
Well, look who's out front after that round of pit stops. My partner, David Westergreen.
Exactly right where you want to be the last 25. Because now everyone's like, okay, 25 to go. I'm going to have to get track position, and everyone's going to be going. And it's better to already have it than try to get it.
It looks like it was fuel only for the 9 car. I have to imagine some mixed strategies there. What did you do? Were you 2 tires? Were you 4 tires? Did you take any tires?
I just put there. We only had one set, and we were at halfway, so I was like, "Screw it! Put all 4, fill it up, and let's just send it."
There you go.
Might as well use that set, you know. It's just sitting there.
And I believe we're gonna get wave rounds here for Carlos Acosta and Gavin Higgins. They are in front of Westergreen. They are indeed getting waved ahead of the pace car now, and Reynolds must have been the free pass, so that puts everyone on the lead lap, I do believe.
Sorry about my dogs barking. They decided to bark there.
Oh, it didn't even pick up. You're doing fine. We're
okay,
great.
Good.
We're great. This is a dog-friendly broadcast. Easy for me to say. So.
They like to bark when the kids across the street are playing basketball because they hear the dribble and stuff.
Sure.
So they're like, "Hey, I'm trying to play. Let me out." But yeah, we're gonna be coming. 24 to go. Pretty much everyone's still in the race, and you have a shot. Like where they've updated this car, you can make moves. It's just hard to do. And I think the best move, like the guys in the back, if you're gonna go 3. You're just going to have to squeeze the gap 3 wide middle because the outside just dies out. So that's going to be the way you go. So if you guys are listening, take the run up the middle when you have it.
And of course, if you're in that second lane, you've got to protect the middle to keep that from happening.
Yep. Exactly.
It's so tempting to get up there and ride up high. The next thing you know, somebody's peeking underneath you and you're cussing them out. I've been there.
Yep.
I've been there. I don't miss super speedway racing. I know I won a truck race in Talladega. I never. Lots of people love it. I was not one of the people.
I like it because of the chess you're playing pretty much on the track. Pretty much what it feels like. It's just a mind game the entire time.
For sure. Pace car is off, getting ready to go. Almost exactly halfway here in the second duel. Green flag is out. David Westergreen chose the outside lane for this restart, and he will fire off with Ryan Gable in tow to get out front.
It's a big jump. I don't like that jump on the outside.
No, we definitely saw something similar to this on that first restart in the first duel, and it got singled out pretty quick, but then that second-ish group was really able to build up a run, and Chad Frankenfield's he's just got to jump out there all by himself to start with and make something happen.
Yeah, I wish he would have waited a second to carry that momentum with someone. It would have really helped. But luckily, Johnny was there just to catch that momentum and help them. They're still going to fall back probably to about the lane right here. It's just so hard to get that outside rolling. You really got to build a run.
Johnny Thomas trying to coach him up into voice chat, try to get him to run a little lower into corners.
Yeah, you got to be right on their door. You want to pinch these guys down. I know the side draft's not as strong. I know we've touched on that a lot, but you still got to get down there and try it a little bit just to slow the momentum down and then come up a little bit, take the push, and just go.
Again,
but the second guy has to...
lane.
Yeah, it's still dying out. It's so hard.
They tried it, but it just isn't there like we've seen a few times tonight. And just I don't know if maybe having 40 cars instead of 20 will make a difference next week, but we just haven't seen it work out tonight.
I think it could just be the nighttime.
That could be.
What I've noticed a lot on the sim, like the night racing, is like we all enjoy the night racing, it's the best, but the tires don't wear as much, the dirty air is worse, it's harder to pass. So I'd rather race during the day on the sim all the time, just because you can do things during the day with the hotter track. Yeah, the outside's starting to really go now. They got the 3. It's just that Ross jumps up now. It's just so hard to get that third lane going. It gets a good run and then it stalls every time.
Yeah, it's just when you think it's starting to work, it stops working. But I think this might be the longest we've seen it work, but I just don't know if they're going to be able to pull even there with, say, Johnny Thomas or Chad Frankenfield on that outside. David Westergreen still leading the way right where he wants to be if he wants to race in next week's Daytona 500 and force me to find a new partner for 4 hours next Wednesday.
Which would be cool and not cool, you know. It'd be cool he made the race, but D West in the booth, you guys in the booth do a hell of a job, man. And I literally, even off season, I'll go back and I'll watch the Cup Series races just because they're so good. I just enjoy it. You do a good job.
We have a lot of fun with it, and I think that's part of it. I don't know that we're necessarily, I'm not very smart, I'll be the first to admit that, but we have a lot of fun with it, and we love talking about these races and talking about you guys, and obviously a lot of you we've raced against for years, so we know what makes you tick, the things you like, the things you don't like, the things that really make you angry, and it's just, I think that's just part of the charm, right?
Yeah, I still touch back when we ran the Brickyard this last season, and he's like, "Oh, that second move, Weeks ain't gonna like that." And he was like, "You're right," because Blake and I had a conversation. He's like, "I'm gonna block you again." I'm like, "Well, you had your 2 chances. The next block, you're getting full send to the corner."
Yeah, Carlo for Ryan Gable. That was almost big there in the middle of turn 3 and 4. They kept it together.
What a save!
Oh man. Oh, and now was that Johnny Thomas, I think, that just made a move right in front of Gavin Higgins. The first race is always tough. We don't have a ton of new schemes, but there's just enough to make me count everything.
It throws me for a loop too. A lot of guys, new schemes, new numbers. I'm so used to John being in that bright yellow car.
That's a tough one for sure. I mean, he was blinking out. I had no idea to be looking for a white and blue car for Jonathan Dunlap.
Yeah, when I loaded in and was looking at him and Justin, I'm like, "Oh, nice paint, John. I'd rather have the yellow so I can see you." But
we were joking during the first duel that it's got to be a real pain next week when, fortunately, they got split up tonight, but Chad Frankenfield and Ryan Schold being in the same duel now that Ryan has gone to a white and red scheme similar to Chad instead of having the blue.
I noticed that. I thought it was Chad in the first.
There you go. So
and
we're
then
all
they didn't hit you, and then you knew it wasn't him.
Exactly.
Oh yes, it's officially the new season. We're already busting on Chad. So
it's good to be back, man. I hate the off season. Like, this is my little getaway from the world, and it sucks when we're in the off season.
I enjoy the break. I enjoy having those few weeks to kind of reset, enjoy some Wednesday nights to do some other things.
Yeah.
Go to some minor league baseball games or whatever, but I'm with you. It's nice to be back in the rhythm, be hanging out with David and Dave again, and I think we're in for a really exciting season, and certainly tonight has already been a treat.
Oh yeah, this Clash and tonight has been really good, and as we're starting to look, the Channel 199 guys are really making moves on this third lane, and they got 4 cars. I think Kurt Gibson fixed his damage, and he's right with them.
That's got to be such a tough team this season to deal with, between Blake Reynolds, obviously the champion last season, bringing in Zach Novak, a former Coke Series champion. We know how good Garrison Hogan is. You bring in Ethan Stanley as well. That's going to be a stout lineup to deal with all season long.
It is, and I felt like we needed another powerhouse team. We've always had the two, pretty much two in the stock cars. And now that we have this third one, it's going to be something. And some of these guys are running Monday nights too, so it's going to be a good season. And I'm excited. I'm ready to go challenge these guys and try to beat them. That's the main goal, is to outrace them. Third lane seemed to die out. They're back now to just double file. As I say that.
Mark Revelos in the YouTube chat, Covered Bridge is a new powerhouse team. I think the jury's still out on that one, I gotta be honest.
I don't even know what team that is.
That's rough. That's tough, man. That would be Mark Revelos, Michael Hosak, and Sean Judson. That's your Covered Bridge racing lineup.
Okay. I don't go through the Google sheet and look at the teams. I just know my team and the fueled up team, and of course Lake Norman and all them enemies over there. You know, especially since Tate's over there now, I kind of have to wreck him a couple times.
That team takes the best photos. We'll give them that. Mark is a very good photographer.
Yeah, he is.
I think the funniest thing is when he'll post his flashbacks or whatever, because I feel like he has been everywhere. I mean, he'll post Super Bowl photos, NBA Finals photos, Olympics photos, from races in the 90s. It's insane.
It's awesome though. I get to see all these moments, and he posts them. I'm like, hey man, I was a kid right there.
We've singled out a little bit up front here. It's about top 7, nose to tail with 14 laps to go. Seth Rawls leading the way. And Mitch Havere currently the top open guy. And Cale Pocock, obviously 13 laps to go. The position almost doesn't matter at this point, but 5th would be good enough to unseat Jaden Racines for that last open position, should the second open car finish 5th or better.
That second lane just can't seem to get going. I had that problem in mind when what was it? Thomas Coonan jumped in front of me, and I tried pushing him, and it's just like that car would not go, no matter how hard I pushed him. It's just like some cars you can really push really good, and other cars you can't for some reason.
One thing to keep an eye on, we've talked about the teammates a lot, and David Westergreen was leading for a little bit, fell back. Right now he's 10th, but he's working with, well, he was, I think they just got split up, but he was working with Daniel Gore some, and I mean, he had been pretty open that if it was between him or Daniel getting into the show, he'd want Daniel in as the open guy actually running for points versus, you know, David Westergreen just kind of moonlighting in these Crown Jewel races. We'll see if they are able to keep moving car 69 towards the front here.
Let's hope they're really stacked here. Is he on the outside? All these new schemes is throwing me for a loop.
So that first car on the outside line now is Daniel Gore. Relatively new name for Elite, but recently won the championship over in Osaka on Thursday nights, where I race with several of these competitors you see on Elite, televised on 3Y TV, Carlos Acosta's network. So Daniel Gore, he's got to be a very good open competitor, I believe. I don't know, you know, I'm not as familiar, or he may not even be as familiar. I don't know how much next gen he races, but he's definitely got plenty of talent on the sim.
Yeah, I think I raced against him in the Truck Series last season, one race, and then covering that as well, being in the booth, I watched him a lot. That's right. I think he actually won a race in the Truck Series too last season.
He might have. I know he finished well at Watkins. I can't remember if he won or not.
I remember he won because he was like, he told Will something. He's like, I'm second. The British got to win a race in the lead.
Yes,
I remember it.
yes. Him and William White, they will not miss an opportunity to remind you they are British.
And then I found out he actually lives, I think, North Carolina. So he actually moved over here, or South Carolina. He actually moved over here. We had a whole conversation about that night. So it's cool to see him, you know, over here and still repping his flag and racing and showing up.
Being a North Carolina guy, I keep hoping I'll meet up with him and some of the other Carolina guys at some point. It hasn't really worked out for a bunch of them. You know, I've met Bojo. I've met Ray Bracey, but that's about it so far. I'm hoping to meet up with some of these guys at some point in the near future, but we'll see. Now we're starting to see more of that 2 and 3 wide again, and this might be, I keep saying it, but I really do believe it this time. This might be the best the outside lane has looked yet.
Yeah, now that we're actually seeing more cars up there, and now it's 10 to go, people are all trying to get up there, so the pushes are going to be harder, so I can actually see that third laner going, oh, he blinked out.
He's gone.
Yeah, and that,
Oh,
no.
I think he lagged out. He just disappeared.
Oh no, that would be heartbreaking. And obviously
Definitely.
that has killed the middle lane, even if he does come back. But I'm keeping an eye here to see if we see the notification on iRacing that he is gone. He's showing up on the pylon. I think he might.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, if he lagged out, it'll keep him at the spot he lagged out, and if he'll pass that spot, it'll put him a lap down.
Right. Okay. So he might be gone then, because I did
Yes,
not visibly see him on track, and that's a huge tough break for Daniel Gore, who is really in a position there to race his way into the Daytona 500. I mean, even if he's able to get back on track, he's got to be at least one lap down. That's almost an insurmountable hurdle this late in the duel.
Yeah, big time. It's way too late to try to get back in. By the time you load in, he'd probably be like 3 to go, maybe, if it stays green. It's just so unlucky. Always.
So Gavin Higgins, let's remember, Gavin Higgins and Carlos Acosta had to take the wave around.
Oh, that's right.
So that means they needed fuel. Did Carlos run out? Or is he on the pit exit? He's coming out of the pits. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so he had pitted last time. Gavin Higgins had to pit this time. They were hoping for a caution like we saw with, I believe it was Kurt Gibson. No, Sean Judson, excuse me, in the first duel. Sean Judson got the caution he needed. These guys did not, as we are 7 laps to go here, and they had to pit for fuel.
That's right. Cody's starting to make moves up here. So Stanley's worked his way up there. You know, you're really starting to see the Channel 199 guys really trying to take control of this race. All 4 of them up there now. Was it top 6, top 7?
Absolutely. Ooh. Stacked up a little bit there about mid-pack on back, but we keep it straight, keep it clean. Justin Wadsworth getting a piece of the wall there, but he's able to keep his momentum up. 6 laps to go. Jesse Racimus leading the way. Blake Reynolds. Nope, excuse me. Zach Novak in second. Johnny Thomas third. Garrison Hogan fourth. Chad Frickfield first car in that outside lane. He scored 6 at the moment. He needs a little bit more help right now. He's falling backwards. 4 laps to go.
If that second lane's need to start building that run now. It takes about a lap or 2 laps tops to really get the thing going. Walking on it. I think that's was it Blake behind Chad pushing him.
I believe so.
Yeah.
And Mitch Severe's in a tricky spot here because on one hand, you've got to try and move forward. 7th is not good enough. He needs at least. Let me look at the qualifying times here to see what the tiebreaker would
we're
be
wrecking.
there. Oh!
Oh, he just got caught in that wreck.
Well, that takes care of that. Chad Frankenfield has damage for sure. Looks like it's got to be a bump draft from Blake Reynolds here.
Yeah. A little bit too far to the right. While he was still on his bumper, he was moving back to the left, and it just kind of grabbed Chad.
Clips Mitch Javier. Corey Abbott's going to tag Chad Frankenfield.
Kurt got through. Justin barely. Oh! Looks like Stanley got through up at the wall.
And again, not seeing any meatballs here.
Yeah, which is crazy. Javier hit that wall hard.
Javier hit a ton, and then there's another guy, did not catch who it was. I think I'll be able to see from this angle. I'm stunned that isn't a meatball, if for no other reason than like suspension damage on the right front. Now, I'm not sure, is it Abbott here that gets clipped? Yeah. He's got to take a pretty good shot as well.
That shouldn't be that bad. That looked like what I did Monday night. What Corey did there.
Well, that's going to stack up everything here. I don't recommend running the road course layout here. Did he just mark it?
Oh.
Oh, man. So we'll see how this all shakes out here. I was about to see, because we talked about the tiebreaker there. If an open car were to finish 6th, they need to have qualified faster during the qualifying session than Jaden Racimas, who is at a 49.932. Gibson did not do that, so he would need to finish 5th. Novak did do that, so 6 would be fine for him. Obviously, he's already in a better spot than that. He'll try to hang on to that.
Pocock or Westergreen?
Pocock was 5 thousandths of a second quicker than Racimas, so 6 would be fine for him. And Westergreen was in that weird little group of people who all decide to run 49.901, so he was also faster than Jaden Racimas. Racing Incident, no tally, the ruling from race control on that one. Jesse Racimas has announced he will take the top for this restart. I'm not sure.
I'm going to have to get used to Wadsworth being my teammate, too.
Yeah, that's another one of those silly season changes.
Yeah, we had a trade. We traded Tate for Wadsworth.
That's a pretty big trade.
Yeah. We just thought it'd be nice, Stanley was going to Channel 19, Wadsworth was coming to us, so Tate was like, to be nice, he's like, I'll go join Blake Norman, and we all just be an even trade. And I was like, that works.
Let's be honest, we don't like those West Coast guys anyway.
Yeah, they're too far behind.
Yeah.
Like in our time, you were talking about where you met some of the guys that race. I've actually flew out to Ethan when he got married, and I was out with Ethan and Tooker and RC, and that was a good time.
Yeah, I know there were a lot of you guys out there, and yeah, that was cool. And now he's got a kid.
No,
Tate has it.
Oh yeah, Tate has a kid. Yeah,
that's me. I screwed that up. So it looks like this will be the first attempt at green-white checkered. For those new to the iRacing side of how this works, we'll get, by rule, 3 attempts here in the Elite Cup Series at a green-white checkered. If they make it back to the white flag, then at that point you can't have a caution on the last lap on iRacing. It will be a race to the checkered, but if we get the caution before the white flag is displayed, we'll try again. Or at least try at 3 times. If they screw up the 3rd time, I can't help them.
Yeah, we pushed our limits a couple seasons ago at Pocono when we had like 10.
We learned a lesson for sure. Jesse Racimas lining up on the outside as the leader. Zach Novak trying to race his way into the Daytona 500, highest open car at the moment, inside row 1. I'm sure
the
he would have
next-
loved a choose rule to be able to hook up with his teammate there, Garrison Hogan.
Oh yeah, definitely. But he's sitting good. Kurt is a couple, like 4 cars behind him, so he has a good spot. Kurt's on the bottom too, so he's kind of pinned. So as long as he doesn't jump up with this outside lane, I think Zach would be in a really good spot.
Jesse Racine is able to clear down in front of Zach Novak. I'm sure Zach is fine with that at this point. Like you say, he just needs to hang on to that top open spot.
Whoa.
Mixing it up further back. That was a big move that kind of stacked up that second lane there from Jonathan Cutlip.
Yeah, I was hoping Kurt and Justin would jump up there too, and they would have had 3 cars rolling that outside with that momentum. He's going to have to do something. What I've learned tonight, you can't wait to the last second to make the move anymore. You got to be on it.
White flag is out. It will be a race to the checkered flag no matter what happens here in the second duel of the night. Jesse Racimus leading the way, still single file to about 7th or 8th spot. Who's going to make the move to try and unseat Jesse Racimus here?
Knowing Zach, he's probably going to wait till 3 and 4 maybe. That's if he thinks those guys behind him are going to go with him.
I mean, those front 4 are quite literally nose to tail. You can see them dancing down the backstretch as they're shoving each other down towards turn 3.
Yeah, it was a 4-car push right there. 4-car train.
Here comes the move from Zach Novak to the outside. Jai Thomas is going to go with him. Look at that head of steam. Zach Novak, he's going, if he can hang on to it. Yes! With the win, he will be in the Daytona 500. The wreck behind him after the checkered flag, I do believe Kurt Gibson held on to 5th place, excuse me. That should be good enough to get him into the Daytona 500.
Yep, 5th place.
Welcome to the Elite Belly Up Sports Cup Series, Zach Novak. He will be in next week's Daytona 500. He'll be starting, I do believe, in the 4th position as the winner of Duel number 2. Here we look at the view as Kurt Gibson saw it on the way to the checker. Was able to hang on, and they wrecked right behind him, like Indiana Jones running out of the cave. And Vandermeer's going to go for a ride here. And there they all wad up behind them. Well, Matthew, that was a pretty exciting night. Did you learn anything from watching that second duel?
It was a little different than the first one. I noticed they wasn't side by side as much as we were, but what I do know, the 3rd lane sucks at night. Hopefully it works during the day. And,
For sure.
Looks like, unlike other 500, I might have to keep my track position more than previous years, but I've seemed to be good at that. That's the main goal, is just to stay up there. So I've learned a thing or two. I still think there's some things I can learn when I get in the car, but that's why there's 500 miles for me to figure it out before the end of the race.
Well, I know it wasn't a win or a podium finish or anything like that, but you've been so kind to join us up here for this second duel, so I'll give you a chance to make some shout-outs and thank the guys who let you go out there in the first duel, get that top 5 finish, and will be part of your effort in the Daytona 500 next week.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you guys letting me join you. I love talking racing. I know I'm not a good, like the call-to-call broadcaster, but once we talk racing, we can talk all day. Shout out, my buddy Justin Vandermeer, who was just in the race. Hit him up at JV Designs on Twitter. Paint you beautiful schemes. John Cullip, who's in his race at JD Designs, he'll do the same. Hit him up. They paint probably some of the best cars on the sim. Everyone at Pro Edge, all the fueled up guys, you guys in the booth, Chad, all the sponsors, Betty, if she's watching over there, Ethan's. Hope you enjoyed the races tonight. They were both good. Can't wait to go back and watch them. And let's go get number 3 next week.
There you go. You'll be looking for that 3rd Daytona 500 win. Matthew Weeks, good luck next week. We look forward to watching.
All right, man. Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
You too. So that is Matthew Weeks. I guess we'll start getting some interviews here. Oh yeah, that's perfect timing. Seth Rawls just jumped into the waiting room, so I'll go ahead and grab our third place finisher on the evening, Seth Rawls. Seth, you come out with a third place finish here in this second duel. Have to be pretty excited with that effort going into next week's Daytona 500.
Yeah, probably my best Wednesday night in a while. I'd say. Oh, I gotta mute Chad.
He said he talks a lot. He talks a
does.
lot.
But no, it was really awesome working with Chad obviously tonight. The first race, the little legal partnership with Shift Esports. So I thought it worked really well. I thought we did. Obviously the first duel was awesome as an owner. Seeing Connor get into his first 500. Maybe happy. Obviously Josh was dominant all night. Gilberto, obviously was there too, but got stuck in one of the crashes at the start of the duel one. But yeah, as a team owner, I'm happy. As a driver, I'm happy. I had a good qualifying lap, and then I said, screw it, I'll front run tonight, and I led a lot of laps with Chad's help, and had a good time all night. I think I don't know if they made the update or what, but the package is pretty fun, I feel like. Definitely still a little bumper cars, I feel like, but not bad overall.
You mentioned, how successful it was the night for Shift Esports. You mentioned Connor Thompson Gardner making the show, and obviously both you and the 22 looking good all night. That has to give you a lot of confidence next week, because obviously instead of being in two different races, you'll all be able to work together to start the season. And going into 500 miles, 200 laps next week, where do you kind of see Shift stacking up with these other teams once we all get 40 cars on the track?
Well, I think the partnership between us and Little Eagle will be even more important, seeing that there's only 6 Fords in the race, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, I think we work together good, Shift, and then also Little Eagle all night. So I think we kind of have a game plan there. I think having the trust in each other to push and all that kind of stuff. I trusted Chad big time there on the backstretch, just kind of not leave me when we were single file. But yeah, overall, I think it's going to be interesting with only 6 of us kind of being forwards. I know obviously there's friends and stuff you have, but having that alliance is going to be crucial come Wednesday.
And what do you think is probably the biggest thing you learned out there tonight in those 50 laps ahead of the Daytona 500?
Not to kind of fall into the trap of like, oh my god, the line's got to run, I got to go for it. I feel like, especially in Connor's duel, I was spotting for him. I think I learned a lot that, the bottom is kind of just the bottom self cleans itself. He stayed bottom the whole time, and it just kind of worked out for him. Obviously, in the race, who knows what happens, but I think the big takeaway was to not trust every single run that you see. I think the run's still a lot easier, and the top is not as dominant, or like fast, I guess, and passing the bottom. So I think it'll be something to look at Wednesday, but I think also the difference would be the amount of cars as well on track. I think that'll change a lot of things as well, because this is only a small sample size of what we'll see Wednesday with a full field.
For sure. Well, before we let you go, let's get those shout outs and sponsor plugs on this third place finish tonight, Seth.
Yeah, thank you. I'd say obviously Tail Digital Solutions, my sponsor. Always there with me. Support me on my iRacing stuff. Little Eagle, big partnership there, but also new sponsors to the team, Northwestern Mutual. What else we have on the car? The High Side podcast. GC Spider Studios has been a great help this season. Coming on in a lot of different cars, so super excited to see how we do this season. I got a stacked group of guys, especially in Grand National Cup. We're a smaller team this year, but I'm really excited to kind of meet and mingle and grind with the guys. I think will be really fun. But yeah, overall, and then obviously you guys are broadcasting. I'm excited to watch the race back and see how it all worked out.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us. Congratulations on the third place, and we'll see you pretty close to the front to start next week's Daytona 500.
Yes, sir. See you guys.
All right, that is Seth Rawls, third place finisher tonight. We'll move on to our second place finisher. Look at Dave already updating the graphics before I can even grab Johnny Thomas and bring him in. Former Daytona 500 winner, second place finish tonight. Johnny, you have to be pretty excited. Got to spend a lot of time up front heading into next week's race.
Yeah, no, we're pumped up here, Zach. We had as you guys know, pretty abysmal last couple seasons, year and a half basically, and haven't been up here to talk to you guys too much. I haven't really found anything to be too happy about, as far as the sim racing world goes. But we had an awesome car today. Learned a lot for Wednesday. Learned what to do, what not to do, and just came up short there at the end. But there wasn't a whole lot I could do there. Riding single file with Zach and Jesse, third car in line. I hoped that they had to make a move, and Zach made a move there, and I went high and cleared Jesse, but didn't clear him enough to get the momentum for the win there. But hey, second place is good points today, which is cool for the
Yeah,
duels. We haven't had a lot of points lately, and we've been just short a couple seasons, so it's nice to get those 9 points.
that's right. You are tied for third in the points right now. Mark it
Heck
down,
yeah.
if
Yeah,
nothing
we're
else.
playoff aspirations here.
So it seems like a lot of learning to talk to Matthew, of course, during this second duel after he had raced in the first duel, and of course, all the guys we've been speaking with throughout the night. It seems like everybody had to go to school a little bit, I'd say even more than usual in the duels with some of the updates to this next gen car. What do you think was the biggest takeaway for you going into next week?
The momentum, the crazy runs are still there, but they're not there first through sixth. It seems like if you're first through sixth, I'm not going to give away too much stuff, but if you're first
Sure.
three cars on the bottom, first three cars on top, you guys can just swap out, positions. You push the guy up top, he goes down. But then also there's some things that the first three or four cars on the bottom can do to pretty much eliminate, that top lane. And we noticed that, come the two-lap shootout. If there's a green white checkered next Wednesday, which I'm guessing there probably will be, the chances probably pretty high on that. If you just watched what we did in that duel number two, then you're going to have a good shot to win that if you're first through third on that bottom. So um, it's definitely different than Talladega last year or last season, but it kind of puts you more in control as a driver, which I like. I wouldn't like to be 10th through 20th because you got no chance of winning. So there's some things that I still need to work on, but if I just stay up front, you got to be uber aggressive. If you're up front there, you just got to take the runs, but also if you're on the bottom, you don't see a big run up on top. You kind of just got to stay there.
And one thing that I think you have to be really excited about after tonight, you didn't. I won't say you don't have friends because I think you're probably one of the most well-liked guys in the series, but you did not have teammates in the second duel. You will have those next week, and of course Kyle Hanshaw of Kyle Hanshaw Racing, and of course Jeff Green added to the fold this season. So a couple of pretty good hands to have on your side in a super speedway race.
Yeah, not only is Jeff a great guy, and a really good sim racer with tons of experience, but just having him as an extra teammate, there was a lot of times last year, and even in the second season after that, before that, I mean, me and Hanshaw was up front, and we just didn't have that help. And if we had a third or fourth guy, then we probably could have been in the running more in these races. We're up front, in the first part and the middle part, but we just can't get it done, in the back end. But with Jeff having really good plate speed always, it's going to be fun. I'm hoping one of these three cars ends up in victory lane come Wednesday.
Well, before we let you go, so you can start focusing on that, let's get the shout outs and sponsor plugs on this runner up finish tonight, Johnny.
Yeah, just Hanshaw for having me on the team again. It's fun. We're a laid back team, and we're having fun. But Belly Up Sports, Righteous Jerky, go to their website, Righteous Felon Jerky, get some beef jerky for you guys. And shout out, I think my dad was watching. He said, "Good try." So hopefully
Sometimes that's the best you can get out of a dad in a moment
yeah,
like this.
hopefully we end up one spot better come next Wednesday.
All right. Well, good luck next week. Look forward to watching in the 13th running of the Daytona 500 to see if you can get a second one, Johnny.
Number 2 would be sweet. Thanks, guys.
All right. That is Johnny Thomas coming off the P2 finish, and that will bring us to our winner of the night, racing his way into the 13th running of the Rev Limit Workshop Daytona 500. That is Zach Novak. Zach, welcome, I guess, to the Belly Up Sports Cup series. And you start off 1-for-1. It's just a duel, but it was an important one for you tonight to make sure you were part of the big show next week.
Yeah, absolutely. I was getting a bit nervous there with, I don't know, about 12 to go or so. We just couldn't really get the middle to go at all. And I forget exactly what happened. It kind of all went pretty fast, but um, I just know that I kind of found a hole to gain some track position really quick and, kind of settle back in and just get some rows for free, really. And give ourselves a chance to be a bit further up. And yeah, we were in a perfect spot there on that last restart. And I think Jesse taking the top honestly helped me more than it helped him. In the grand scheme of things, Garrison didn't really get going on the top because he didn't really have any help. So the top kind of stalled, and luckily we were kind of able to just single file out, which was big for us. So yeah, just thrilled to be a part of it, and obviously super happy to bring home a win in my first start, even though it's a duel. Regardless, it's like you said, it's an important one, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to next week.
So I don't know if the hard part is out of the way. Obviously, there's nothing easy about 500 miles, but certainly the stressful part of making the race is out of the way. What happens in the next week now that you know you're in the show? You're gonna have a pretty good starting spot, I believe fourth for the Daytona 500. What's the game plan for the next week or so to get ready for that big race to start the season?
I think the game plan is just be smooth, be smart, don't tear the car up. I think track position is definitely pretty important in this, but at the same time, 500 miles is a long time. So the race, on lap one is going to be completely different than what lap 200 looks like. So yeah, just be patient, be smart, and take my time, and hopefully we can maintain the track position without being too aggressive. But yeah, just keeping the car clean, I think, is the biggest thing.
And of course, you're no stranger to some of these guys for sure, but that second duel, we got to see a lot of Channel 199, a lot of those drivers, your teammates in this second duel. I'm sure that was a good experience to have to prepare for next week as well, knowing what that communication is like, how important all of that is in a super speedway race. What does that do for you going into next week?
Absolutely, it's really helpful. We really lucked out with that, having all of us in that same duel, to kind of give us some reps. And I got to work with Ethan there quite a bit, and I haven't really, talked to him too much prior to this, so that helps a lot, just kind of building that chemistry and knowing what our tendencies are and whatnot. So yeah, it was very helpful, and learned a lot, especially just overall about the package and who I'm racing against and what these guys race like. And I think that's pretty important, and it'll help a lot come next week.
Well, before we let you go, Zach, let's get those shout outs. Anybody you have to thank here on winning this second duel and earning a spot in the Daytona 500 next week?
Yeah, just appreciate everybody that runs this league, Chad, and everybody else that helps put it on. Appreciate everybody letting me run with them, and thanks to Channel 199 as always for everything they do. Giving me the platform to race on a weekly basis, so I really appreciate it. Washer Tech, Track Racer, Yobo's Design, Racecraft, and of course Channel 199. Thanks so much to all of them, and Cosmin Ionishu, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, from Splash and Go Graphics. Appreciate him as well. And yeah, just thanks to you guys for putting on a broadcast, and once again, thanks to everybody that puts us on.
All right, well, there you have it. Zach Novak, winner of the second duel tonight. He'll be starting near the front of the field next week in the Rev Limit Workshop Daytona 500, and looking to make a big first impression here in the Elite Belly Up Sports Cup Series. Congratulations, Zach, and best of luck next
Appreciate
week.
it, guys. Thank you.
So there you have it. Zach Novak, of course, the former Coke Series champion, winning the second duel here this evening. This is normally the part where hey Dave, what do you David, what do you think of tonight? But he's probably licking his wounds after that 10th place finish and not being part of the Daytona 500.
Wait a minute. You gave me a script earlier. You want me to just read that stuff you said earlier today?
Oh, I gave you a script?
Yeah, remember you were going on a broadcast script to read?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can do that.
That would be our last broadcast.
Yeah, we definitely want to be here next week. So, and unfortunately, we will be joined by David Westergreen. I know he wanted to be a part of the 500, but 10th place, not enough to get the job done. So, me and Dave will be here next week for the Rev Limit Workshop Daytona 500. We hope you will be here next week. I think this is going to be a really exciting one. Obviously, like I said, you've got Zach Novak, the 2019 Coke Series champion that raced his way into the show tonight. Obviously, congratulations to him. Congratulations, Gerald Campbell, winning the first duel. Congratulations to everybody, all of our other open competitors. Thomas Coonan, Connor Thompson, Kurt Gibson racing their way into the Daytona 500. Stay tuned to all the elite social media networks to get the final rundown on the field of 43 that will take part in the virtual edition of the Great American Race next week. As for now, there's nothing more to say. We're done racing. Thanks for being with us all night long here on the Elite Racing Network. It's obviously been a long night, but a fun night with qualifying into 2 duels this evening. On behalf of Dave Huckleberry, David Westergreen, Matthew Weeks joining us in the second duel. Appreciate him. Appreciate all of you for watching. We will see you in 1 week's time to kick off the 2025B Belly Up Sports Cup Series season with the Rev Limit Workshop Daytona 500, the 13th running of the biggest race for the Belly Up Sports Cup Series. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.